Don't we all just love that intro? All
Yeah,
bopping away to
yeah.
it.
I'm in the back having a dance party. I don't know
Oh,
why.
so good. Right, welcome, one and all to, of course, your favorite podcast. This is our twice weekly live podcast showing that you all absolutely adore and love, and it is your favorite podcast. I won't hear anything other than that. But welcome to the Hcast. This is episode 53. We are plowing through these, absolutely plowing through them like a farmer down on a field, or someone drunken through a corner shop hoe. Anyway, so we'll shuffle on today. We've got a doozy of a stream for you today. More problems for Marvel and Disney. Yes, we're not just talking about Marvel and Disney, of course, today. We've got quite a lot to get through today, but there is some pretty major reports in the world of Marvel and Disney, some which I've discussed today, some we need to talk about as a group. I am joined by Culture Casino. We've got two other members of this epic panel that will be joining us shortly, so please fear not, there will be more individuals on the way. A bit of housekeeping, ladies and gents, just before we get started. And again, thank you all so much for everyone joining. We've got 130 odd people. Smash that thumbs up button as you come on in here. But a bit of housekeeping. So, as I do at the start of every single podcast, nice little bit of a preamble. We need like a longer intro, I think, but we'll do the preamble anyway. So, this stream is always demonetized, and I 9 times out of 10, I always check, and it's pretty much demonetized about 5 minutes in. So, this stream is paid for by you guys. It's kept on the air. You guys support it. It keeps itself on the air, so it's funded by you guys, for you guys. So if you want to join in the conversation, use the super chat function. Goes a long way, literally helps keep the lights on. But those absolutely fantastic questions and comments, debatable topics that you guys chime in with, you'll see them. They've become their own videos on the second channel. And I make a very, very specific point of always keeping the name in and highlighting the comment, and it's in the video. So if you want to be featured on the second channel and you want to support your favorite podcast, then super chats are the way to do it. So we'll obviously intermittently get through them. We'll sort of bring it on and talk about it, etc., etc. But super chats are the way to do it. Super stickers help as well. Of course they do. And memberships. So don't really talk about memberships too much. Probably should, but we've got memberships on the channel. So become a member. That would be fantastic. And I speak about the second channel. It's linked in the description box. If you're not already, hit subscribe down there. That would be fantastic. And of course, share this out. Share this out far and wide. Get this out there. So I am joined, of course, by Culture Casino. I will be joined by Tom Connors as well as Nick. But Nick is always tardy on Tuesdays. It's Nick's Tardy Tuesdays. That's what we call them from now. But how you doing, Culture? How you doing, bud? You all right?
I'm fantastic. Yeah, we've got Tom's on the way. He is speeding quickly towards home to join us.
Hopefully not speeding though, not breaking the law.
Well, what's he going to run into up there? Cows? I mean, that's about it.
Well, hey, that's no joke. You run into a cow, your car's wrecked.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not a joke.
But you'd probably see it. You know what I mean? It's just
this is true.
They're not moving fast either. Normally,
this is very, very true. Yeah. Well, you'd hope someone would see a cow.
And they're big,
rather than just sort of. Well, yeah,
they're big.
I've never seen a mini cow. I've seen a mini pig.
A mini cow. Like I've seen man bear.
Can you imagine that? How cute would that? I'd own a mini cow. If they came out with genetically engineered mini cows, I would buy a mini cow as a pet. That'd be epic. Mini cows.
Jasper would love that as a.
He absolutely would not. He would love. Yeah, but he gets a bit jealous here and there. It's Jasper's birthday tomorrow, everyone, ladies and gents. Right. It's his birthday tomorrow. I bought him a sirloin steak today, specially for it. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So everyone's channels are down below in the description box. So please do hit subscribe on their channels. So we've got, like I said, we've got a really interesting stream for you all today, and we'll get to some of these super chats that have dropped in already, because thank you so much. You guys are absolutely epic, and you've already dropped in with some super chats. So we'll get to them before we start our topics. But, like I said, this is a Marvel and Disney stream. We're going to be looking at mainstream media recognizing just how bad Disney is at the moment. It's an interesting article. It's from Forbes, and it covers the fact that they've spent like $1 billion on nonsense, and they've lost insane sums of money. It's funny. We'll dive into that. We've got some epicness with respect to the Star Wars saga, so we'll be waiting for tardy Tuesday Nick to drop in to discuss that. We've got Blue Beetle and the director pining for a trilogy that will never occur, and a very minor bump in box office, but it's still terrible. Among the main headliner topic, which is, of course, Marvel VFX workers unionizing, which is oof. And this comes what it's tomorrow, isn't it? The earnings call. So that comes a day before the earnings call that the VFX workers are looking to unionize. So that's fascinating. So we'll dive into that as well. But let's get to some of these super chats first and foremost. So we have one from Israel R, dropping in with $5. Thank you so much, my dude. You're always dropping in here, always contributing to the show. And thank you so much, genuinely. So just wanted to say hello to everyone and looking forward to another great show. Your favorite podcast. I'm determined to get that flow and hashtag your favorite podcast. Anyway, Kev Phillips for $1.99 sent in a director's chair super sticker with the words on set. And that's actually your first super sticker, Kev Phillips. So, wow, thank you so much for spending your first super sticker here on your favorite podcast.
Your favorite podcast.
I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Accident seller for 20 Norwegian kroner says no FAP for 199 days. 199. Wish
Oof.
me luck. Why would you do that to yourself? All right, good. Epic.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll live. You'll live. C. Kramer for 30 sorry, it has been a member now for 22 months. So this is this right? StreamYard is actually showing me a milestone. Is that a new thing that they've
done? I was surprised.
So it's literally just that. It's not a super sticker. It's not the monthly super sticker. It's just a milestone.
Yeah, and you're also going to get member chats as well now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. So sorry, StreamYard, what this platform that we're using and pay quite a large sum of money for on a yearly basis is slowly updating things, and they're now revealing milestone for memberships. So that's really good. Thank you so much, C. Kramer, for being a long-time member of the channel, coming up 2 years. Nikki for $5 says, Jesus, you've got laser eyes there. I'm on hashtag stash watch. Also, give us a hair flip culture.
Oh, okay.
Do the hair flip, mate. Go on.
Hang on.
Get out. Oh dear. Right. Stash watch. I'm growing the whole beard back. So I said it in today's video. I'm growing the whole beard back. You'll see my white streaks coming back down here and everything. So Stash will be back along with the entire beard. Tom Workin sent in a $3 super sticker. Thank you so much, good sir. Genuinely appreciate that. And then Al Humphreys dropping in with £10. Says, for some more treats for Sir Jasper, Mr. H, Nate, my dude. If you're not sure his birthday is today or tomorrow, then let's celebrate today to make sure. Oh, it's definitely tomorrow, mate. But I went out today to buy him his sirloin steak that he will be having tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, I know I've done a good thing. He won't know because it will just be over in like 5 minutes. But
I know it's like animals don't appreciate. Yeah, they don't appreciate the goodness, and they're just like,
but I do. And the thing is, dogs are so selfless. They live for you.
They do.
They're entirely selfless animals, and so it's nice to I buy him toys and like fluffy toys, and he's a terrier, so they're gone instantly. But that is 5 minutes of pure heaven for him.
Yeah,
so it's like I don't care. It's worth it. It's worth it to make him happy.
Yeah.
Right. So what we'll do? What's this? Sorry. For this guy 9947 for $4.99 says my heart still hurts that Mr. H never gave us a proper review for Justice League Dark Apocalypse War as promised. Did I not? I'll have to search through my back catalogue for that. I thought I did. Because I swear I had that as a Blu-ray. As an animated one. We'll figure that out. But guys, again, you want to ask us anything? Throw out a specific topic. Doesn't have to be what we're talking about right now either. It can be about anything, but you want to join in the topic. Super chats are the way to do it. We'll get to some more in a minute. But first things first, Culture, you've seen the Meg. I want your review, buddy, because I have not managed to see it, but I've heard it's taken quite a bite out of the box office. So, what did you think, mate?
Okay,
first and foremost, what did you think of the first one, and then follow up with the second one? Give me your review of the second one. I think that's good. Sets the framework, the context.
It does. If you've seen the first movie, the second movie will feel familiar. Very true. The first film, I really enjoyed. I gave it the same kind of love I gave this film. It's right in the middle. It's a pure beer movie. We actually mentioned that on Thursday. This is a beer and a snack film. I mean, this is a I would actually probably have a Sapporo and some sushi and just like kick back in my comfy theater and that's what I enjoyed the Meg that way, right? You're going to get the kind of the jump scares. You're going to get too many humans, the whole 9 yards. So when you get to the second film, you've seen it. You've seen it before. It's a monster movie. It's an underwater monster movie, but they introduce some new creatures that I don't know. I don't really want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but there are.
Well, isn't there a Kraken in it?
It's not. Well, it's a big old octopus. So I guess maybe
okay.
Kind of a Kraken. I guess it's pretty. It's you don't really get to see it in its.
Is his name's Phil?
Yeah, probably. You just don't get. You don't get to see it in all of its glory.
I'm terrible with these jokes.
Yeah, you are. But you don't get to see it in all of its glory. But
don't agree with me, Culture. Gosh.
I'm sorry. Anyway, no, I'm really not. To be fair, let me be honest. I don't care. But look, the octopus was cool. The sharks are cool. But there's some like dinosaur-y things. I mean,
is there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's brilliant. There's some. There's really a lot of room here for what they did with this to expand upon how ridiculous they can get. But look, you've seen the film before. There's just too many people in it, like most modern monster movies, but you still get the monsters. The CGI is very good compared to what we have been. Forced
to. Cheap, is it? It's like $180 million. This movie, so it's not.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like Marvel. Like it's not like that. I mean, we're going to talk about them later, but like there's only one part where you feel like, ooh, that was kind of rubbery and kind of a little iffy. But it's not for very long. It's only for about 240 frames in total, so it's not very long. And because they cut away twice during the segment, but otherwise everything else in their CGI wise is wonderful. You get to see lots of people die by Meg. That's really cool. I love those things, man. It's like, hey, that's a big shark.
That's the point of it. It is a beer flick.
Yeah,
that's the point of it.
And it is pure beer flick. So like I said in my review, and I'll say it here too, I mean, this isn't a grand film. This is not some wonderful epic. It's not the worst film, right? It's a 5 out of 10. It is middle of the road. Go with your popcorn, go with your beverage of choice, and have a good time. But look, Statham is Statham, and like he is his own brand, and he doesn't have to act. He's just Statham. He's cool Brit guy, right? He's like, I left the military to be an actor. Okay, good choice, worked out. But but at the same time, I mean, they have a really weird kind of organic diversity in the cast. It doesn't feel forced at all. The only moment that kind of made me cringe a little was that both the submarine pilots were female, but it didn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
Everybody was more than qualified to be there, and there was a loss of life along the way. So just be prepared to lose characters. What's really cool about these films, and I think you will probably agree when you go see this, you don't have to have seen the first film's not important to see first. It's like it's like you can walk into a lot of different horror franchises, especially like like The Nun and stuff like that are all kind of loosely tied together, but you don't have to see any of them to understand them. So I felt like I really enjoyed this film for what it was, right? But again, my review was honest: 2.5 out of 5 stars, 5 out of 10, whatever you want to call it. This was a dumb, fun movie, and a lot of people in the chat seem to have seen it and they've enjoyed it too. So I'm just going to say that's where I'll leave the review at. It is worth, if you're looking to have a good time at a film, not see Barbie, you don't want to watch the world blow up in Oppenheimer, and you don't want to give Disney any money, the Meg 2 might be something for fun. So
okay, so liked it then, basically. Well worth the price of admissions.
Yeah, it was worth the $12 or whatever. Yeah, it was worth that. So, and you can get it in 3D also. It comes in non 3D and 3D flavor. So
that's your review specifically, but let's talk a little bit more about it. Does it set up a sequel?
Yeah, well, there's room for more. There's room for more. I mean, they kind of like are developing a team, right? That are trying to interact with and understand these big creatures at the bottom of the ocean. In fact, this is this film kind of sets up the part of the organization that they merged their exploratory services.
Are they making their own version of Monarch, but for the Meg universe?
Kind of, yeah. A little bit. It's kind of neat though. But here's the thing. I mean, there is a very dark side of all of this, and they kind of show how there was like corrupt people in the organization, and they were doing some very bad things, and then they got found out by the good people in the organization, which Jason Statham's part of. There were moments there that I mean, I'm always going to cringe, like getting a little kid involved in the save the world moment is kind of goofy, but like you said, it turn your brain off and have fun. But is it setting something else up? Yeah. Indeed. I think you could have a Meg 3, and especially since now you've introduced the idea that there's a whole world somewhere else that can come and mess our world up pretty good. So I think there's some room.
Okay.
Yeah, and it made $112 million international box office alone.
What? Just international, worldwide?
Yeah, I know. I think that's just international number. Let me confirm.
It did $30 million domestic.
Yeah, it didn't do well. Yeah, but see, great. It didn't
First
do
one
great
didn't,
here in the States. Yeah. But I was like I said, I mean, I was impressed, and I figured, by the way, when you see this, you'll understand this was geared towards an international audience.
So I was just about to ask, was there very much a slant of this being tailored for the Chinese? Because it's because the first one was because of Tencent.
Yeah, I think
they sort of shoehorned in like a particular Chinese actress. I think it was in the first one, Li Bing or something like that.
Yeah, and then they killed her. Yeah.
So that's what it was. So it's still very much like slanted for the international Chinese audience.
In fact, the island that you get to go to towards the end of the film is like called Happy Fun Island, and it's all full of Chinese tourists. There's a few Americans mixed in there. That's funny. Of course, they're 100% ugly Americans. The travelers that are entitled. Yeah. So, I mean, there was definitely some shots in there, but to me, I don't care. Cause I mean, when I've traveled abroad and I've seen Americans act like jackasses, I'm like, thanks, dicks.
Well, their stereotypes exist for a reason. It's founded in reality. People always get butthurt about this, but it is the facts, unfortunately.
No, just if you're an American and you're a thoughtful person and you travel abroad, you see it everywhere. You just do. It's like, wow, you are really making us look bad, you redneck piece of junk.
So you'd recommend it, setting up more. VFX are pretty decent.
I'll recommend it. I liked them. I mean, the sharks are amazing. Those Megs, man, they look beautiful. Like I said, there were only a few moments that I got pulled out, but I'm very critical of effects. You know that, and so like I'll point towards that every time. But it was really only like a little bit in the beginning that there was some texturing issues, but again, that's real subtle. And then on the towards the end of the film with the scene.
What was the lighting like underneath the water?
Fantastic. No, I mean,
did that pretty well.
They actually did use a lot of when they got to the bottom of the ocean. There was a lot of bioluminescence that was gorgeous. Like they
that's
took notes. Yeah, they took notes from Avatar, right? And they kind of ganked a lot of that stuff. So it looks really it looks good. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So worth it, beer flick. Not breaking any records or anything.
If you go in looking for a very specific thing that I was talking about, like just a good time movie, this is it. It's definitely not Turtles. So
all right, okay, cool. Well, there you go, ladies and gents. Culture's review of the Meg 2. That was slightly rhymed. So we do have some more super chats, so let's get to some of them before we move on to our next topic. So Olaf Van Ness, our epic wrench. This is our moderator, so do as you're told, or he will. No, Olaf Van Ness is great. For €2, says just a hello, dropping in late. Happy to see everyone. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being incredible moderator. Do appreciate it. Six sent in a $1.49 super sticker. I can't see that one, so I don't know what that one actually is.
I didn't get a chance to link it, but no.
Thank you.
Very thankful.
Yeah. And then a tipping barn for $1.99 says, I came back mostly due to Culture's gorgeous locks. There you go. Well, this is why I have him on.
Yeah.
He's basically an advert for Pantene. Right. or head and shoulders.
Oh man, thanks. Wow. I have dandruff. I don't think I do. I spent a lot of time on the conditioning. I don't know. I was getting asked that question in the chat. I'm like, hey.
Well, what do you use?
No, actually, I really went deep with the beard yesterday. I went with a really good, rich peppermint oil treatment.
See, when I have you seen me with my massive beard?
Yeah,
yeah. I couldn't do too much stuff. It gave me like awful underlying spots underneath the beard. It was gross.
Really?
Not nice.
Okay, so the reason that happens, for those of you who care, is because your beard pulls moisture out of your face like crazy. So like a good oil treatment and a good moisturizing lotion or something, like I use a moisturizing sunscreen, but then I'll actually moisturize my entire face like at night. That actually helps quite a bit. So, and it also prevents like, beard dandruff, which is a thing because again, it's really wrecking your face. So yeah.
Accident Seller for 20 Norwegian kroner says, happy birthday tomorrow, Jasper. Have a great week. He will. He'll have a lovely, lovely steak. We might do a birthday stream for him as well. We did that one year where I sat him on the chair and it literally just in front of the camera. It was just my dog and he just ate a steak and then that was the stream. So we might do that again.
That'd be amazing. I want to watch that. I want to see that tomorrow.
It was really cute. And then I just sat down and spoke to people and then had Jasper in my lap. Olaf Vanes for €5 says, for some bones for your loyal companion, Jasper. And that is if you become a member, ladies and gents, you have access to a great little Jasper emoji. So there you go. HR Giga's search history for $1.99. That is a great name. Says random but doomsday design in Superman and Lois. I have not been keeping up to date on Superman and Lois, so I didn't know they actually introduced Doomsday now. I'll have to.
And here's a weird moment. We don't know how long that show's going to go.
Oh, it's not going to go for much longer now.
Yeah, because it was it's like one of the last remnants of the old CW network. So
Googling it now. Let me have a look. Oh, wow. What? Jesus.
You can really just call me culture, dude. You don't have to get formal.
Oh, it didn't load. Oh no, right, okay.
Look
at that.
Wow.
That's so good.
Embiggen it. Can you embiggen it? Oh.
They nailed it. What the hell? That has no right being as good as that.
Yeah, this is a TV show.
On the CW as well, of all things.
Well, yeah, but see, now Nexstar
That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Wow.
That is brilliant.
It's wow.
All right, guys. There you go. Superman and Lois had a really good Doomsday. It makes me feel dirty. Like it's the CW.
Well, but see, we used to get good things for cheap back in the day. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah. That is really good.
I know. Here's another cool thing. You could actually drop that model if you could grab that 3D model. You could drop that into one of the new Unreal tools, and anybody could act Doomsday out.
Look at this as well. Look, that's a great shot.
It is.
Fucking hell.
Okay, so they are intending to move on with this show because this is season 3 finale.
Yeah, so there was
there going to be a season 4. You can't quit if you get a Doomsday like
look at this as a cliffhanger shot. Okay, wait. How good is that?
That's glorious.
Well, I'm well impressed. I'm not going to lie. I'm well impressed. The CW, of all places, did Doomsday right. How on earth did... Okay, well, stranger things have happened, ladies and gents. Stranger things have happened. But that's bloody great. There you go. This is why I love you guys dropping in with all of the super chats and comments. Because I've not been keeping up to date on it. Like, I just didn't.
I stopped watching after the first season. You know, I didn't think it was going to continue much longer. I knew that CW was winding down their shows because they were selling to Nexstar. There was no compelling reason to even keep anything around.
Yeah, I mean, so I really honestly really enjoyed Superman and Lois, and I kept singing its praises. Like, guys, you should probably give it a chance because it was pretty decent, pretty wholesome, pretty decent stuff. But then I just sort of phased out. I think I got a bit too behind. Whenever I get a bit too behind of shows, I end up just checking out because I'm like, I'm too behind now. Yeah. So anyway, guys, we're going to shuffle on now to our next topic. Our our headliner topic, ladies and gents, and it's a big one, and it is huge in terms of the industry, and it's Marvel Studios in-house VFX workers. Basically, they're on-set staff, they're in-house VFX workers. From what I can tell, unionizing, because they are 50 more than 50 on-set employees have filed a petition and voted to unionize. So just as a bit of a background, let's kind of get into some of this. So following multiple reports of VFX crews being pushed to meet unreasonable deadlines by Marvel Studios, visual effects artists at the studio, so they're at the studio, but I don't know whether they're in-house.
No, those would be in-house employees. So these
are in-house employees, are they?
They're the ones that sit there and operate the volume, the stagecraft, all the stuff that's in the background, the real-time projection that's being done.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So basically, they've demanded union recognition. So according to Vulture, a group of more than 50 on-set employees filed a petition for an election to be represented by the IATSE. With a National Labour Relations Board, the workers are asking for an election to be held as early as August 21st. Now, this is literally a day before the earnings call. So this is bad news for Disney.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow, the 9th, we've got the earnings call, which we are going to cover in depth on Thursday's HCast. So because
we're just to add to that, we'll have Mexican Iron Man, who is a shareholder and is on those calls, basically. So we'll have him firsthand chit-chatting us through what was on that call, which is going to be a doozy. Mark my words, that will be you won't want to miss Thursday's show, guys. I say this is your favorite podcast, that will probably be your favorite show of the podcast. I guarantee it. Now this is pretty major news because it marks the first time visual effects workers have joined forces to demand the same rights, wage protections, and professional watchdog oversight enjoyed by professionals in almost every other part of the film industry. So here's some statements from VFX organizer for IATSE, Mark Patch. For almost half a century, workers in the visual effects industry have been denied the same protections and benefits their co-workers and crewmates have relied upon since the beginning of the Hollywood film industry. This is a historic first step for VFX workers coming together with a collective voice demanding respect for what we do. And then the VFX coordinator, Bella Huffman, who worked on Hawkeye, said, turnaround times don't apply to us. Protected hours don't apply to us. The pay equality doesn't apply to us. Visual effects must become a sustainable and safe department for everyone who suffered far too long, and for all newcomers who need to know they won't be exploited. And then we had a statement from IATSE. We're witnessing an unprecedented wave of solidarity that's breaking down old barriers in the industry, and we're proving we're all in this fight together. That doesn't happen in a vacuum. Entertainment workers everywhere are sticking up for each other's rights. That's what our movement is all about. I congratulate these workers on taking this important step and using their collective voice to urge Marvel Studios to voluntarily recognize their union immediately. This is major.
Yeah.
It's huge. Now, I will say, and I said it in the video that I did earlier on the channel, guys, is that at the end of the day, look, you know, barely anyone supports the actors. And I think the prime example of why people don't support the actors is the statement from Rachel Zegler, where she said, if I'm going to stand there for 18 hours in a Disney dress, I demand or I expect to be paid for every hour that is streamed on Disney Plus. No, absolutely not. You're literally in it for yourself. And you're a very high paid actor now in Hollywood. So barely anyone supports the actors' strike, because she said the quiet part out loud is that actually all the actors, no matter how big they are, they're striking for themselves. They're striking for more money. They're greedy. Whereas some of the actors were pretty smart and said the quiet part quietly. And the loud part was, I'm striking for the little guy. No, by and large, they're all striking for themselves because they're narcissistic. It kind of comes with the territory of being an actor. Generally speaking, There are obviously outliers in there. But one thing I think and barely anyone supports the writers, right? Barely anyone supports the writers because they look at what's being made and they're like, mate, come on, bro. And they see them on Twitter bitching and moaning and politicizing and having Trump derangement syndrome. You name it, whatever. It's nonsense, right? They couldn't write, a novel if the pages were just given to them by God, for goodness sake. It's pathetic. But most people can support the VFX artists because, the VFX artists aren't getting worse. It's the studio demands that are worse, right? VFX artists and what you can do with VFX is incredible. It has never been better. And this turnaround time, everything is so well documented. It is absolutely insane. There's been so many whistleblowers, and most people support the VFX artists. So I think, most people will get on board with this and go, yeah, I support them for this. But anyway, look, I digress. Culture, give me your thoughts, buddy. What do you think about all of this? Because this is huge. Like,
I think
this will be the first of many if this happens. This will be at DC, Warner Brothers.
Oh, it'll be everywhere. It'll be widespread, and they'll all come into their own local, most likely. But
that's why I think they're going to push back on it.
They have to. If they want to, if they want to continue to bury and hide money and how they spend it, they can't let everybody be unionized, because then it's going to kind of give everybody an indication of what movies really cost, and that's terrifying. But look, it's sorry, you know how it works in Hollywood, but with the VFX people, we know we've seen it. Whistleblowers have talked about the hours that they work, the contracts that they get signed into, the fact that their bosses will get them into a contract that they have no prayer of being successful at, and in the time frame that they've been given. You have VFX houses coming out and saying, well, we got this very vague thing from Marvel, and they want us to create an action scene involving these three characters destroying a road. That's it. That's the direction we.
It's not just that. To add to that is that Marvel specifically, because we are talking about Marvel here, but this is industry wide.
Yeah.
You name it, this happens at DC. This happens with all of the movies that are very huge with the VFX, and they're all garbage, right?
Yeah.
But Marvel specifically will go to the VFX houses to go, I want 3 sequences, and they're all different, and then we'll choose. And you're like, sorry, what? You're making this up as you go along. 3 incredibly different sequences. You can't do that.
You know what I find embarrassing, and this is a little divergent from the exact topic, but you used to, and they were talking about it in a few different ways yesterday on various streams, but you used to see widely developed pre-visualization, right? It's before you get to the movie stage.
Well, to add, just real quick, Del Toro released his what was it? The in the Mountains of Madness previs. Is it the Mountains of Madness? I think it was previs stuff for his, basically the Thing-esque thing,
right?
For his movie, and that was pretty well developed previs. That was
but that's
not awful previs.
That's the point. Everybody used to save themselves a ton of money.
Keep going. Let me figure this out.
Yeah, but no, everybody used to save a ton of money by having good previs before they shot a scene, and then you can essentially hand that over to your VFX folks and say,
"Is that the Mountains of Madness?"
Yeah, make this stellar, make this beautiful, make this happen. I'm going to give you everything that you need to work with. This is your blueprint for making it happen. I mean, and it's one of the things that they did very well at Lucasfilm originally. They did. Steven Spielberg does a ton of it. They were talking about that yesterday in various places, but they don't do that. Well, so the VFX houses are left in a very particular, very difficult situation, as you described, where it's like, okay, give us these things, and then we'll take one. That's not even the worst of it. The timelines that they demand for some of these people to deliver, and again, stepping outside of Marvel for a second, but within the same company at Lucasfilm, they were bringing in effect shots within 30 days of that film being released. That's nuts.
Yeah.
So when you start to think about it in that way, these people are absolutely they're pushed to do long hours. They work 20 hours a day. Sometimes they're in a bad situation, and financially they're tied into these contracts that maybe they're not in their best interest, that they weren't consulted on, that they weren't even asked if they were going to be able to deliver. So the deliverables become unrealistic.
Oh yeah, it's an untenable position to be in, and I think you know, it's a bit of a meme that we talk about Disney and Marvel here, but they are the biggest and they're in so much crap at the moment. So it's just the unfortunate nature of the industry at the moment.
Yeah.
Disney and Lucasfilm specifically, Lucasfilm had on the go for Indiana Jones 3 VFX houses all in one go, trying to scrape that film together. Literally, you're talking a couple months before its release date. 3 VFX houses scrambling together. That is almost unheard of.
That's ridiculous. But
3 independent VFX houses just all working on stuff because they were like, shit, we need to bring in the big guns here. We cannot do it. It's crazy.
But that happens.
Absolute madness.
But that happens regularly under the Disney brands of the studios. I mean, we've heard about that with I just brought them up. I mean, you have one of the best effects studios on the planet in Industrial Lights and Industrial Light and Magic, right? And you don't use them. You farm all this stuff out to the other 2 or 3 that you're going to use for a given film project, and they're all spread across the world. They don't coordinate in any way. You get hit and miss stuff and things that don't look visually the same. There are times when you can tell who worked on what in a film because of the way it's presented. It's just it's crazy. I don't even get me started on that part. But I look at it this way. I think that if this happens inside of Marvel, you're right. It's going to go to DC. It's going to go to Sony. It's going to go to everybody. And then everybody's in-house visual effects guys will be union. Then everybody on the outside will be looking to go union, and it's going to change the game. And IATSE, again, they're going to melt all these things into one local, and then they'll have a lot of power.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, like, I support them unionizing, right? Like, I support the VFX artists unionizing, or at least getting what they deserve, right? Like, I'm fully on board with that. I don't see the issue. I'll be very surprised how some people can see an issue with that in general. I'm not massive on unions as a whole, but as something to sort of sway power because that's all they have to do that with. Yeah, it's fine. I'm on board with that. Yeah. So I'm with them on that. Like I say, they're in an untenable situation, especially with Disney, because it is Disney that is the biggest studio. They do have the worst reputation when it comes to CG stuff, and their films are so CG heavy. So, yeah, I don't blame them for wanting to do this by any stretch of the imagination, and I hope they succeed at least getting what they deserve, because it is bizarre that all these other elements of the industry have all these things locked in perfectly fine, and then these guys are just. But at the end of the it's very similar to the AI issue, right? Like, it's an evolving part of the industry, or had been, and I think maybe it got to VFX and VFX houses were sort of flung into the industry at such a quick pace that the contracts couldn't keep up to protect them. I'm thinking that's probably what happened, similar to the AI thing now, which is what's causing all the strikes, etc.
Well, and that's only going to get worse. I mean, to be fair, you're seeing an evolution in AI being employed already, not just in production but also in writing. It's already been happening. They're fighting against something that's already been happening for a while. They just didn't know it. I mean, a lot of notes. I'm going to say it this way: a lot of notes for scripts and things like that, I'm almost certain have come out of AI.
Yeah,
like somebody took the script, fed it into an AI, and had it render analysis, and then wanted to look smart, and then they kind of based their notes or wrote their notes or stole their notes directly from that AI analysis.
Yeah,
because sometimes that's what the notes look like. So it's just it's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah. Right, guys, we'll bring in another panel member here.
Hey,
tardy Tuesdays for Nick.
Yeah. So I did get some good news on my work meeting that I just got off of. I had a huge project that I was going to have to work on tonight that was going to take me a crap ton of time, and it just got canceled, so I don't have to do it now.
Yay! Good stuff. Been saving some topics for
we're waiting for you
here anyway. So
sweet.
But ladies and gents, again, we got 421 people here, so please do hit that thumbs up button. It's not for me or for the stream specifically. It's so you get notified of the stream. These streams get unlisted the moment they're offline anyway, so it's not for the stream specifically, but it just hopefully means that YouTube will notify you. So please do hit that thumbs up button. I do appreciate it. And check out everyone's channel linked down below. So we've got Culture Casino, Nick, I think 1 or 2 channels are linked down below. Can't remember anymore. And then Tom will be here. We saw him floating around in the chat, but he will be joining us as well. So let's get to some of these super chats. We've got 2 that dropped in here whilst we were chit-chatting away. So D for 20 Australian dollary dues says pure boar bristles brush and a handmade sandalwood with buffalo horn hair comb for the win. Jesus, that is some fancy beard. Beard care there. Your beard will thank you. The Amish make some great beard soap, oils, and balms.
Yes.
And happy birthday to Jasper.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can get Amish shit in the UK. I don't know if we can get
I can send you some. Oh, that's the other thing. We said on Thursday that you wanted me to ship you something, and I forgot what it was.
Did we?
Buy you something and ship it because it's cheaper.
Think we did.
You didn't?
Oh, it was a fuel pump.
Oh, yeah. All right, fair enough.
I think it was a fuel pump.
I wrote it down.
Well, so one should be on the way, so we'll see. Because I don't know if it's going to be the right one, but
This last weekend, my car actually wouldn't start, and like I'd go to crank it, and it just clicked, and I was like, "Damn it!" And I thought it might be a fuel pump or a starter. Apparently, after doing some research on YouTube,
battery.
What I had to do was pull a fuse out of the fuse panel under the hood, put it back in, then pull the starter relay, then take a copper wire and put it in the 2 slots, which basically bypasses the starter relay. The car started right up.
That's a Tomb Raider level shit going on there.
It
go through this riddle just to start my car.
Yeah. I didn't know that I could start the car that way, and it was really weird starting the car outside of the car, but it worked. And apparently, I got to get some sort of ESL, which is electronic steering lock assembly, which is part of the anti-theft device on there. It's apparently starting to go bad, and I got to get it replaced.
Yeah, so basically, you had an immobilizer issue, essentially.
Yeah.
God, that's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and it's probably not going to be cheap when I take it to the Mercedes dealership,
because that's the only. You got that German tax on top, mate.
And I hate it when I get into one of the cars that I have that need a fob, like it has to detect the fob and all of that.
Yeah. Well,
and then the battery's like toast, and you're like, oh fudge, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything.
Not good. Well, a lot of them with a key fob, as long as so if you put the key fob, if the battery's dead in the key fob.
Right,
or vice versa. If
you can put it right up against the starter button,
right up, and then it should start. A lot of them do that, especially if there's a slot for it. So they don't really have it on new cars anymore. But when there used to be a slot for it, that'd be a registration for the transponder.
Yeah.
Anyway, accent seller for 20 Norwegian kroner says, "It's a me, Marby. He's everything. She's just peach."
That's right.
Love
Brilliant.
it.
Well
Absolutely love it. Well, that takes us nicely off to our next topic. Let's discuss it. Look, Barbie, it's done $1 billion at the global box office. What do we think of this? So $1 billion worldwide. It has been slowing down domestically, though. Like it has. Significant drop-offs week on week. First weekend was well over 100 million at the bottom. What did it do domestically? Week 1 it was well over 100 million, because then second week it was down to like 90 odd. Now it's down to like 50 odd or something like that.
Yeah, it did rather well, and it bums me out. What do I think about this? I weep for humanity's future.
Yeah, for real.
I mean,
I think there's a few things to dive into with this, though. Right?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, it has done really well. I think it was always going to do really well because it's such a massive brand.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's done as well as it has consecutively.
Yeah. The fall off, as you noted, was not dramatic. I mean, weekend to weekend. I mean, it's if the first weekend it fell off, in the second weekend by 43%, In the third weekend, it fell off an additional 43%. So it's gone from 162 domestic to 93 domestic to 53 domestic.
Yeah. So. But I think now, judging on its trajectory, I don't think it will catch Super Mario Brothers. I'd be surprised if it does.
It's got another 200 million it's got to make.
Yeah, but
it's
like
300, isn't it? It's $1.3 billion now, Super Mario.
Yeah.
I mean, Barbie's almost like almost 1.1, or it's about halfway to 1.1.
Oh,
so it's as far as global goes. But I mean, I'm looking at the numbers. It's 1042. So it is 58 million from 1.1. But look, I see that. I think it could get to 1.2, 1.3 billion. But what's incredible is that it made it across $1 billion in 17 days. I mean, it did it very quickly.
Didn't it take Mario 26 days, wasn't it? I think,
yeah.
And so 26 days from its release. Look at that with some memory on me.
Yeah, it did well. But comparatively, Barbie's still out in front as far as that goes. It just depends on what this fall off is. So, I mean, as far as the film having legs, we've already seen it decline 43%, 43%. So whether or not it has more retention in it that stays at that same level, then maybe it'll get there. Maybe it'll reach Mario. But again, what is going to hit the theaters that's going to pull fan interest or moviegoers' interest away from that film? You only have 2 films out there right now that people are jumping on. We didn't get a huge response here in the States to the Meg, the Meg 2, The Trench, and you didn't see anybody care about Mutant Turtles, and you didn't see anybody care about Haunted Mansion. And I mean, there's not a lot of care for a lot of things being dropped in the theaters right now.
The thing is, when I saw the Haunted Mansion trailer, I actually didn't think it looked that bad. Personally,
I would rather poo, but that's just me.
No, I thought it looked like an actual scary-ish Disney movie. Some of the scenes were like, "Whoa, okay."
Yeah, for like a kids movie. Like I was looking at it the aspect of from a kids movie. I was like, it doesn't look that bad, but I already knew that it was going to be a bomb. There's so many people out there that just aren't
for it, was there?
Not hardly any.
Yeah, man, this could actually happen. Barbie could actually beat out Mario. I'm now looking at a side-by-side day-to-day comparison.
Well, Mario's done 1.355 billion. So, I mean, it could do.
It seems to me, though, that Mario kept quite a bit of legs on at various points.
Yeah, I mean, that just continued. Like, it was always there.
If anything, like it regained steam about the third Saturday. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether I think that this will have. I don't know. I mean, look, $1 billion is amazing. Like
a lot of money.
Let's not misconstrue it. Like I'm not poo-pooing it's $1 billion. Well, how can you? Right? The numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, but especially for as little as it was required to make, it was really. I mean, it's still being misreported on the numbers, but it cost them about $158 million to make the film. Now you throw another $100 million in production at it, so we're at $260 million worth of like outward expense. So you're going to pull in 50%, if just roughly, from your receipts, and so if you make $520 million, you're in the black. From that point forward, it's gravy. So I tell you what, Warner Brothers is jumping up and down right now.
Well, you know what? They're not actually. They are and they're not. So they want to get a sequel off the ground, but apparently Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling have not signed any contracts.
Oh, that's because it's freaking.
They're not under contract.
Mattel. Oh man, Mattel.
So they're not jumping up and down too much because they are not under contract. Their Barbie and their Ken are not under contract. They don't have to come back. They can, but they don't have to, and they now can name their price, especially Margot Robbie, who is a producer on Barbie.
Yeah.
So they can name their price if they want it.
Ouch.
And they're gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you? You've got all the bargaining power. They screwed themselves. Warner Brothers do this. They did it with Todd Phillips and Joker, and they've done it with the Mattel and
God, they
Barbie,
did, didn't they?
Ryan Gosling,
I don't think people realize just how bad that Joker deal was for the studio.
They made like no money out of that $1 billion.
None. We're distributing it. You should have made it. What the heck? This was $55 million film that went over $1 billion, and you distributed it. You didn't make it. This is bad.
Fucked
Very bad. Massively. Oh, it happens. It happens. But here's the thing. I don't know that a sequel is going to have the same lightning in a bottle moment for this thing.
No. Well, yeah, I don't want to sound so cocksure, but it doesn't. I don't know. Where'd you go with it? Like, what'd you do?
Well, I mean, you've already emasculated and destroyed every Ken.
Yeah.
You relegated them back to second-class citizens. You know.
Well, you showed what can happen if Ken stops simping. They rule the world. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I swear,
Nick,
if this movie,
haven't heard much from you.
If this movie beats Mario, like the world is officially going to be going to shit at that point in time.
Well, it already has, but I hear you.
Oh, good God! But it, like Culture was saying, after looking at the numbers and stuff, it's looking like it's on its way to beat Mario.
Again, if it tails off more, like again, we have to watch. I'm going to now watch the trend for the next week, day to day, and see what happens with it. But if it actually just falls off, which that could happen. I've seen that happen with films. Just stop. But again, you're feeding a film to an audience that's primarily female. Speaking with a broad brush, females don't normally return to see films a second time. They just don't. This is demographic.
But also, it's important to note is that women are not the majority share of cinema goers anyway.
No.
But I think they were for this. So although they don't repeat the view, generally speaking, I think they came out in their droves to see this. And then obviously, all these people with their partners had to come along as well, and ladies' night, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, it was lightning in a bottle, but who knows whether they... Another one? I don't know. But I don't want to sound too sure on it. We'll see. We will see. We will see. There isn't much competition for it at this point in time. That's the issue, I think.
And we're getting a sequel now.
Well, they are and they're not, though. Like Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling not signed on, so look, that was really, really dumb. But I do know what you can do. You can get yourself a Kenergy t-shirt. You can. Oh, yeah.
I have it over on Mixed Tees right there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you actually selling that? Is awful. Are you actually selling that?
It's fantastic.
That is the most pixelated stuff ever.
It's made up of stars. That entire image, if you get up close to it, it is all stars. So you can get yourself a Kenergy t-shirt. You can get
that a hairnet on his head.
We've got no. Again, You've got I Am Kenough coming out. We've got some more stuff coming out to service your Ken needs.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right. Shilling your stuff. Right. Well, let's shuffle on, ladies and gents, on to another super chat that just dropped in. And I've got to say as well, so, I say this as we go through the stream, but super chats, this stream, this podcast, your favorite podcast is funded for you guys, by you guys. So dropping in with the super chats really goes a long way because we are already demonetized. So I said I check. We're demonetized already, and we've not spoken about anything controversial. It just happens. It's very frustrating, but obviously, your super chats go a long way. It literally keeps the lights on. So the podcast is funded by you guys. So you want to support? Please do. Super chats do that. Sean Conwell for $10 says, shout out to you, Mr. H, and your Godzilla coverage between -1, New Empire, the Monsterverse show, and Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. What a time to be a G fan. Planning my next tat to be G-Man related. You know what? My inner child loves Godzilla. I mean, look, so just out of sight, you can't see it. It's literally in front of my desk. got this big mofo from the MonsterVerse. That is some good shit.
That's the Godzilla from the one where they're like, where they're like, oh, that's Fat Godzilla.
And then we got this one.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. That's the old school classic.
This is an SH Monster Arts one. This was sent to my PO box, which was fucking amazing. I love me some Godzilla. I'm all about Godzilla. I've got some actually on one of the back shelves as well. I've got Burning Godzilla there.
I love me from the Godzilla. 80s, but I don't.
Did you?
As a kid, I wish I still had it.
I was going to say the value's so high, but sentimental value is more important for those things. Like people are always like, "Don't take them out of the box." Like, no, these are mine. Like, I want them to be out of the box. I'm not selling them. They're mine. Like, I'm not going to sell them anyway. Yeah, Godzilla at the moment, brilliant. Love it. Genuinely. There's so much good stuff going on. Godzilla -1. So good. We covered it here on the podcast. The new Japanese Toho Godzilla looks epic. New Empire, interesting stuff. The new MonsterVerse one. And then you got the MonsterVerse show from Apple TV. Great time to actually, be a Godzilla fan because there's a wealth of content out there. I don't think there's ever been a time now where there is as much content for Godzilla as there is now. So, yeah, it's pretty major. Tom Working for $2 says, my God, it's full of stars. For the Ken Enough. Weren't you supposed to send me some links to this mixed teas thing or something like that?
Yes, I will. I'm terrible. I should be punished.
You are terrible.
I should be punished.
Ridiculous. Don't say that. You'll give people in the chat some
Ken
ideas.
Enough. I'm Ken Enough.
Ken Enough. Bring the Kenergy.
I am bringing it.
Right. Anyway, I got the Kenergy. Anyway, right. Oh dear. Right, one for you, Nick. Let's shuffle on to our next topic.
I can't wait for this. This good times.
Disney is winding down Lucasfilm's The High Republic Publishing Initiative because it was so successful.
I saw this the other day, but I haven't looked into it. I don't know what the details are. This should be interesting.
Culture knows the details, so I'm going to hand it on over to him, and he can shuffle on with these details. Culture, go.
All right, there's substantial rumors going on right now that Disney is asking Lucasfilm to take their publishing division and shove it. Well, at least wind it down. So that's the rumor that's out there now, is that they are basically looking at let's get High Republic, and they want to get rid of all of the stoned titles that they've been putting out. So you're seeing this happening at a fast rate. We noticed one thing when we were covering this with WDW Pro, that they seem to have sped up the release of the last bits of the High Republic that we know that they announced all the way back in San Diego Comic-Con. So this third phase that we're currently in, they've actually pushed forward the first book that wasn't supposed to release until January. Yeah, I'm not speaking well. 2024. They pushed it forward, and it's now releasing in October. That's usually not a good sign. So they're gonna drop it sometime in October. And it just hasn't been well received. The number
it's not been well received. They've been selling like 60,000 copies or something like that. That's awful. 60,000 copies of books worldwide. I mean, that's atrocious.
It's actually reportedly less. And again, the numbers being reported or were being reported that you're mentioning, those are numbers of units sold to retailers.
Oh, so it's not even the actual sold figures. That's just stock leaving Lucasfilm. Not onward stock.
Yeah. So 100 and something thousand in the first book release, right? Which was by Soule, right? Charles Soule.
Yeah.
And then to now, when you have less than 60,000 going out to retailers, and again, if you walk into
Rock didn't sell it, guys.
If you walk into any bookseller, any physical location, Barnes and Noble, whatnot, you're going to see all of the new titles that are just sitting there, and all of the old Star Wars titles selling. But anyway, regardless, the rumor is that this is indication that they're going to walk away from High Republic. So Project Lumos, which again I thought might be interesting. way back. This was early on in my YouTube days. I did a video on it. I thought this could be amazing, and then the announcement came out, and it was going to be this garbage, SJW haircut special version of Star Wars, and that's what we got, and nobody wants it. So, but if you read the story, that's the comic. Oh yeah, these are the comics.
Fucking haircut.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They should have given her blue hair.
Yeah. It's a bit of a Wild West, a new frontier. It's the Jedi patrols. They're like Texas Rangers. Oh, it's the Golden Age. There's peace and calm. I don't associate the Wild West with peace and calm. What are you high? What are you on about?
Well, this is really, really funny because at the same time, right? This is the kind of things that you say when you're making a pitch in a room to sell a film or television project. Every single one of these things is a pitch sell, because you're always trying to compare what you're trying to do with something that was remarkably successful in the past. So, this is like, this is Star Wars, but it's a mix of the golden age. And there's we get adventures like, cowboy adventures, in a new frontier. Yeah.
So when I did my video earlier, I was like, look, guys, these literally sound, these all sound like emo bands, basically.
Big time.
So, so hold on. Where was it? The Rising Storm.
Yeah.
In an HMV near you. The Fallen Star. Aren't they fucking emo bands? Into the Dark. Out of the Shadows. Midnight Horizon. They sound like emo bands, don't they?
Well, it's like, but think about it. You have one thing that indicates light. Everything else is incredibly dark. Storm, Fallen Star, Shadows, Midnight
Horizon.
Yeah. It's Crash Point. Point.
There's more. Tempest Runner. Like all honestly, all of them. Cataclysm, Convergence, Path of Deceit, The Hidden City. The Quest for Planet X. That sounds like an EDM DJ set name.
Yeah.
Quest for Planet X. I think actually, you know what? I think I swear to God, there is actually there is Volcor X. Yeah, Volcor. Yeah, this is our planet now. There you go. I knew that was a Planet NX. There was some which I listened to. Volcor X does like, I don't know, like dark synthwave kind of stuff, and then he has a track called "This Is Our Planet Now." So I was like, I bloody knew it. Bloody something like that. Anyway, goddamn.
Just to play devil's advocate a little bit on the names, the comic books did better with the names than they did with the names for the TV shows. Andor, Book of Boba Fett. Oh, we lost him.
He yeeted himself there.
He was like, I don't care what you got to say.
Shit.
I'm out.
You're promoting the High Republic.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Yeah, right. He's like, I don't want any part of that.
No, but the names are still shit. But the names of the TV shows are way worse than these.
Hey, I think. Look, all of the book material, everything that's been in these, it doesn't matter. Anytime I've read excerpts or whatever, I'm like, this is quite poo. This is just god awful writing.
Who publishes all these? Is it Del Rey?
Well, no, you have a mix. It's Del Rey, IDW, Dark Horse as far as the comics goes. IDW and Dark Horse for comics. Yeah, you have a Marvel, and you have Del Rey, and you have one other in there. I think the Scholastic is involved in this in some way. So yeah,
what's going on with these blasters, mate? Is he holding them? What's going on here?
No, it's Neo. It's Neo. I'm going to stop all the blaster fire.
What's this shit?
And why do they look like they just came straight out of Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, it's an elf.
Yeah.
Answer this question: is that a dude or a chick?
No clue.
Is there any tit bulge?
I don't know. No, it's like robe bulge.
And what's this? Is this a sheath?
Yes.
But that doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't have a what?
Oh,
yeah.
For a second, I thought it was a woman because I thought that was some sort of female pleasuring device.
Right. Or a place to store plug-in device. Gotcha. Yeah.
The thing is, this has been a long time coming. Bob Iger knows that Lucasfilm is making them no money. He's now at the point, and we've heard it in the rumors, and he's even talked about it himself, how they're going to be cutting back. They got to cut costs. They got to cut the spending. And this isn't doing good. When you have a deal with the I think it was Books A Million they had for these High Republic books, for them to be on end caps, and they do so bad, but they can't. They have to keep them on end caps, and they pull them off the end caps and just set them on the floor and put something else on the end caps, but it's still at the end cap. And then our good buddy John Kakaza, who was at San Diego Comic-Con giving us Comic-Con coverage, went to the High Republic area. It was crickets over in that booth. Like the whole place was packed out. He goes over to the High Republic area. I think there was 2 people over there, and one of them I think worked there.
Dude, and you see the display of stuff they couldn't sell from the Let's Get High Republic that he took pictures and video of that. I'm like, oh my God, John.
Yeah, they are also some of the most downvoted videos that the official Star Wars YouTube channel ever puts out. When they are doing a lot of this High Republic over there, they are getting disliked ratioed on those videos to hell and back. They keep trying to push it, thinking that the few people that actually like this stuff is going to bring more people in, but it's just not. And at this point, they just can't keep dumping money into this.
No,
financially, they just can't afford to do it. So, kudos on them on finally making the decision to drop this garbage.
When I dropped my video on Disney yesterday, and it alluded to a lot of the same kinds of things, like they can't afford to do this. You can't afford to devalue your IP this much. This has caused a decline in a fan base that you absolutely need. You need this fan base. And this is the best-selling book. It's the first book. It's the best-selling book of the series because nobody knew what to expect. I did, because the minute you start to get SJW Haircut Fest and you're female power, female driven, you're going to toast out, your whole thing. And that's what they did.
Yeah. In this High Republic Acolyte show, it's just gonna be just as bad as these books are. People are gonna be like, this is complete garbage.
I wonder if Geode will make an appearance.
Oh man, I got a Geode figure.
Pokemon, is it?
I got a Geode figure on my desk, and I'm gonna hang on to it in remembrance of Geode.
You can't stop the rock. You can't stop the rock.
And one of our members at our meetup in Nashville actually just picked up a rock off the ground and said, "Here's your Geode figure," and now I have them on my desk.
That's valuable right there. I love it. I would be grateful to whoever that fan was to just say thanks for that.
What I want to do is get a card back and bubble for it and put it on card back.
You don't have a vacuum. You don't have a vacuum former?
No.
Oh.
Anyway, right. Let's. Anyway, look. Star Wars is dead. It's a dead brand. They've killed it. They've done it. It's gone. R.I.P. Star Wars. And
you remember when Campia was walking around, being insane recently, going, "Whoa!"
Oh, I want to sub. No. I want to get rid of 30,000 subs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was. This is like a month ago or a month and a half ago. Anyways, he went cuckoo bananas on his live stream. But anyway, I want to replace that word woke with geode. I'm walking around with a rock or something. That's like, oh, it's crazy. You know what? Could you imagine like Hamlet or something, like holding a rock?
I mean, that's what. Just think about it. That's where they're at creatively over there at Disney for Star Wars. Is they come up with a rock character.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I watched the Rise of Soy Walker, aka the Rise of Palpatine, and they had that creature on the Falcon that was fixing and doing work on the ship and had no arms. It just sat there and its head just moved. I'm like, what's this thing? And like, who over there thinks any of this stuff is a good idea? I mean, it has turned into a complete joke over there. And the sad thing is, they're not in touch with reality, and they don't think or realize any of it.
Yeah. What do you say about it? Honestly, like it's just died a death. It's gone.
Creatively inept.
Yeah. Oh yeah, massively so. Massively so.
But to be fair, all of Hollywood is bereft of creativity. There's a dearth of it in Hollywood because they're repurposing materials to destroy them and try to build up their way of thinking. So, I mean, it's just they because they don't have original ideas. Because somebody famously said that evil doesn't create; they can only destroy. I think there was a guy he wrote this enormous like compendium of wonderful books, and he had this thing called the Silmarillion, which was like the Bible or the Genesis of his world. This is a guy that knew what he was doing, right? And he was plainly spoken, and it's all correct. It's just you can't create, you can only destroy. Look at what we have. There's examples around. So, anyway.
Dear, oh dear. Right, let's shuffle on now. We've got some super chats that dropped in, guys. 533 people are watching your favorite podcast. So please do hit that thumbs up button because we only have 260 thumbs up. So smash that thumbs up button. It's not for me. Genuinely, this gets unlisted when it's not live. So it's just to encourage YouTube to notify you because some people just don't get notified, and that sort of algorithmic interaction hopefully pushes it out. It does work. People are getting more and more notifications now. For those that don't know, do this live podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. Starts 9 p.m. UK time on a Tuesday and then 7 p.m. UK time on Thursday. You will not want to miss Thursday's show. I promise you will not. This is your favorite podcast, but I tell you now, that will be your favorite episode. We're going to be covering the Disney earnings call.
So
that was on the call.
So while I have been here, I have gotten some updates for Thursday's show. I can either tell you guys not now live, or I can talk to you guys about it after the stream.
What are they about? What updates?
About Mike's situation. Him.
You tell me he's not going to be able to come on now?
No. Well, all right. I'll just go ahead and tell you so everybody knows. So he is. He's got his son in there in Florida. And so he's not going to be able to be here live, but what he's going to do is he's going to record a video talking about it. He's going to come in the stream and for like 15 or 20 minutes, answer questions, all that sort of stuff. So he's going to pre-record a video tonight or tomorrow night after the call. That we'll be able to play here on the stream. And then he'll be in chat and he'll be able to respond and answer questions, that sort of thing.
There you go. That's still absolutely fine. Still someone who's literally on the call.
It's going to be great. Mike's analysis is spot on, and he tends to get a little fiery after the.
I like it. I like it when he does that. Pre-recorded thing's great. Don't do multiple takes, Mike. All right, don't do multiple takes. I want that raw reaction.
Flamethrower. We want.
So anyway,
jalapeno.
Thursday, you won't want to miss it, guys. You won't want to miss it. So, Monk Vodka for £5 says, "Hello again, gents. Hey. What do you think about a renaissance, I guess, of RPG or story-driven games? If the strikes continue, do games eat in that market a bit? Cheers." Interesting. So, there's not. Is there a renaissance of RPG or story-driven games? I think they've always been here, there, haven't they? Really, they're not left. Have they left?
Well, I mean, you're getting a different style of them, but I think they're actually growing. I mean, you just watched what's the latest one? My brain just turned off. I have it. Something 3 just came out. Baldur's Gate 3, right? Yeah. And then you have
RPG and story driven.
Exactly. And then you have like stuff like Cyberpunk that, believe it or not, that's a form of RPG. You have the stuff that I play. I mean, you're starting to see more and more of that. And I appreciate those games, but they absolutely are stealing the entertainment industry away from theatrical releases and streaming. More.
Look at Hogwarts Legacy.
Exactly.
Hogwarts Legacy has made Hogwarts Legacy, right? An RPG story-driven game. That is literally what it is. Made more money for Warner Brothers than The Flash did.
Yeah.
At like $850 million or something like that in its first couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's over $1 billion game now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. They spend about, believe it or not, about the same amount of money developing a 3A title as they do a major film tentpole. And it does take a little bit longer to do a game. That's true. But then you have sales forever. That's the other cool thing about games. I mean, we are now 10 years, no, longer than 10 years from Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Not an RPG, but just as an example. Grand Theft Auto 5 continues to sell in the top 10 year in and year out, and it's been out for over a decade.
There's so many mods to that game, so much stuff. I mean, you could literally play it nonstop and never.
Well, and I'm playing.
We'll never get old.
Skyrim. I'm playing Skyrim again right now on the PS5.
Just as a bit of perspective for Hogwarts Legacy, the predicted budget was about $150 million.
Oh, there you go.
And it's grossed over $1 billion.
Yeah.
So I can't remember who I talked to about this, but it was another gaming. It was a gaming channel that I follow. That I was in their live stream, and I asked them if these strikes are going to affect video games, and they said that it's completely separate. Some of it's not separate, but a lot of it's completely separate from this Actor and Writers Guild strikes. So it shouldn't have hardly any effect on games.
The different types of actors, voiceover, it's all different stuff. But yeah, I mean, you're right here, Monk Vodka. What a great question as well. RPG games. I mean, games, and that is why Warner Brothers Discovery was ahead of the game, because they made Hogwarts Legacy. It's their game. It's not like Disney that farms out a license or the IP merchandising license. They used to have LucasArts, didn't they? Right, making games for them, and then they binned it off.
Yeah,
what are you doing? Just selling the license off like fucking idiots.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't do that in house. Of course, there's a lot more risk. You're taking a lot more risk taking it on, but the thing is, you also reap more reward if you do that. And the thing is, LucasArts is known for making great games. I mean, through the 90s, LucasArts games were freaking top notch.
One of my favorite games, and again, now it looks like poo, but was Grim Fandango. It was
that game was great.
Completely original, beginning to end, Day of the Death, Day of, and all this other great imagery. And again, I love that game.
Did you ever play Full Throttle?
No.
Yeah, that's an awesome one.
I'll have to check that out. But I spent a lot of time with the Lucasfilm games very early on. I mean, Knights of the Old Republic and stuff was developed in conjunction with Lucasfilm, primarily by Lucasfilm. But again, this was all before Disney took over, and then Disney dumped gaming. In fact, Disney has now dumped their gaming studios like multiple times, only to rebuild them again later and then dump them again. They're just terrible.
Yeah, they now have a division called Lucasfilm Games. So LucasArts, they killed LucasArts.
Even the name shit.
Yeah. So now they came out with Lucasfilm Games, and they're going to start looking at making some titles from time to time, but they're still licensing out the Star Wars name to several different
that
companies.
EA thing was
it was a disaster. When they did that, I was so pissed because I was like, EA sucks, and now they have the exclusive rights to make any and all Star Wars games. It's going to be filled with microtransactions. It's going to be rushed, and it's not probably going to be very good stories. And they didn't get a whole lot of games out. I think within the first 5 years or something, I think they came out with two.
Yes, literally two. Well, again, this is why Warner Brothers are ahead of the curve. I mean, they are the only movie studio that has their own game studio now.
And my thoughts are, yes, I think not only are RPG games gonna steal away more of the entertainment dollar from Hollywood, I think that all games are going to continue to steal more away. And you're seeing good mid-level games now coming out of the independent market that people are glomming onto as well.
Yeah, there's actually one. If you guys remember the original TIE Fighter simulator game on PC, the flight sim, where it went from when the Empire first shows up at Hoth all the way up to the second Death Star battle. It told a whole story. It was the first iteration of Thrawn coming out of the books into the story, into the game. And the Vader, the Emperor was in there. You were a TIE fighter pilot doing all these different missions, and it was awesome. I've played through the game from start to finish probably 4 or 5 times, but there's a fan out there that has taken that game and completely revamped the entire game for modern day with modern day graphics, and it looks amazing. So that's one of the things, like I always say, fans seem to always do it better. And that's definitely the case in this. So if you guys are interested in that game, just I can't remember what it's called. It's like TIE Fighter Reimagined or Revisited or something like that. But if you do a Google search, I'm sure you'll find it, and it's free. You just download it and you can play it on your PC.
Bloody awesome. Bloody awesome. So let's shuffle on. We've got some other super chats real quick. So 9 mil Norm for $4.99 says yuck FoodTube. Thank you so much, Matisse.
Nice block beanie, by the way. I like that.
Access seller for 20 Norwegian kroner says Pissney Burning's cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
Warachi for $5 says the VX, more so than the writers and certainly the actors, need a union to defend the workers. AI issues notwithstanding, the VFX has been abused bad.
Yes. Oh,
absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. So welcoming in our final panelist, a little bit late here, but it is Tom.
What's up, Tom?
Harness.
Hey, Big Tom. How you doing?
All right.
Looking good. And glasses.
My glasses.
Yeah.
Bit quiet there, though, champ. If you can chuck up the mic a little bit.
Yeah, he's also, dude. He's rocking a Teen Wolf. He's rocking a Teen Wolf shirt.
Yeah, on top of the Turtles van.
Gotta be done.
Better.
Yeah, a bit better there. Yeah. So just real quick, guys. Obviously, just to say, we've got 528 people here. Please do hit that thumbs up button. Goes a long way, really helps out. And obviously, we've covered some super chats. If you want to support the show, we get demonetized. It's funded by you guys, for you guys, your favorite podcast. So please do chuck in a buck with a super chat, and we will spend some time talking about whatever it is you want us to talk about. So I know you're going to love this topic, Tom. Let's shuffle on now to an epic article from Forbes, which gold, the 4 flops of 2023 that cost Disney $1 billion. Did you see this article?
I mean, kind of like Valiant Renegade reported a few months ago? No, I haven't.
Well, so they're only saying the actual costs that was to make this, not in terms of losses. So this is the interesting thing. And there's a lot of underreporting going on with this. But it's, again, stuff that people have been talking about for God knows how long. Like you said, Valiant Renegade. We've all been talking about this stuff for goodness knows how long with the losses. It is insane. So Disney has revealed that it spent $965 million on 4 of its most high-profile flops this year. Now, one of them is staggering, and you'll be like, sorry, what? How? So Ant-Man and the Wasp, this because they filmed all this stuff in the UK, basically. Not all of it, but they filmed these products in the UK for a portion of it. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, $993.2 million it cost. Little Mermaid, 265.2. This is just what they've reported in the UK. So there's a lot of underreporting going on because they did stuff in the States. There was lots of payments involved. Indiana Jones, $294.7 million. And then Secret Invasion, a TV series for Disney Plus, $211.6 million.
Wow.
How?
This is what I've been griping about. They cannot continue to keep spending the amount of money it costs to make a movie on a TV show. They should be able to make 5 or 10 TV shows for that much. It makes no sense.
It is insane. Now, I won't get too much else into the article specifically because they underreport a lot of stuff, right? Because they talk about what it grows and they talk about, did it profit? So there's a few things to consider here. So they're getting their numbers from Companies House, which obviously Disney has to. So in the UK, if a film studio comes to the UK to film stuff and they want to take advantage of a 25% tax rebate, which that's my money, it's my tax, which I'm not very happy with. They have to file all of their financial for everything that's done in the UK under Companies House with a new company. They make a subsidiary company, right?
Every time.
And so that's what they've done here. But what they don't tell you, and Forbes are really shit for not outlining this because it's such an easy oversight, right? Is that the fact that they might have filed all this stuff in the UK. But there's a substantial amount of stuff which they did in the US that they didn't file. And then they also don't go into details on the marketing costs as well. So that's why this article is a little bit substandard in parts. But holy Christ, 211. I mean, it's more than $211 million on a TV show. And it was shit. It was awful. See Sadie in the background there, Tom. Cute. So what do we think? I mean, amazing that Forbes is reporting on it, but they're still taking that soft approach to it. I still think there's, Disney hand somewhere there, I guess. Chime in here, Tom. I see you staring at your screen.
I'm not surprised. This is what we've been talking about. They cannot continue to spend this amount of money on movies and television shows. And this is the problem with them having to make $1 billion at the box office for each one of these movies, or bring in X amount of, subscribers to Disney Plus, which they're not. And we know and they're not they don't have nearly the audience they did during the heyday of Marvel, as far as Marvel stuff goes. So yeah, they're gonna have to find a way to start cutting some costs.
Yeah, massively. And I think what's interesting about this is they this Forbes article is wrong as well, right? For one simple reason is they list Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania as cost so far $193.2 million as one of their biggest flops. Also on there was the $200 million they spent on their Pixar film that was a huge flop as well. Maybe Elemental, because that's still a bomb. That didn't go on to gross that much either.
Did it say further down in the article that Quantumania made a profit?
Yes, this is what I mean. This really low ball soft approach. They think that it made $81.9 million.
It didn't make a dollar. It lost money. Lost a lot of money.
After it banked $37 million reimbursement from my tax. So fuck off, UK government.
It didn't.
Yeah, exactly. It literally lost. But this is what I mean. So although these companies, these mainstream media, websites, whatever you want to call it, don't get your news from these people, guys. Honestly, don't, because they don't know what they're talking about. They have not turned a profit on this. They lost an incredible sum of money. Incredible sum. And they're only basing that off of what was reported in Companies House. They're not reporting it off of, the last minute reshoots that weren't done in the UK, for instance, that were done, in stateside. That would have mad scramble and quite a huge cost. Post-production. And they even say this, it may well end up in the red when its financial statements are filed, as they will show the colossal cost of post-production. Yeah, no shit. Absolutely no shit.
And extraordinary marketing. And
yeah, that was marketed quite heavily, wasn't it, actually, Ant-Man? I remember that.
Yeah, because that movie had a $200 million budget and it only brought in less than $500 million.
Yeah, I can't remember what it actually took in overall.
It made nothing.
For $476.1 million worldwide. God,
I knew it was under 5.
That's so bad.
They needed that to make $780 to $800 million, and it didn't even get close.
And the same as this, this CGI nightmare. And this did not. It cost way more than $265 million. And they say this staffing was one of its single biggest costs, with the production team peaking at 252 people. What are they all fucking doing? and cumulative pay coming to more than $26.9 million just for staff. What are they all doing? What are they doing on that set? So bizarre.
And the other thing, I was listening to somebody the other day with somebody, I can't remember whose channel it was or who was talking or what, but it was somebody that's in the industry, and they were talking about how a lot of these studios and stuff will move costs around throughout other projects and stuff to try to minimize the showing of a loss and to try to make that as small of a loss as possible, when in reality, a lot of the stuff is huge losses.
Massive losses. Well, recently, someone, one of the old producers that were at 20th Century Fox was like, Snyder's movies didn't lose any money. Sorry, what?
Huh?
The Snyderverse movies didn't lose any money. Apparently, they turned a great deal of profit for the studio at Warner Brothers. Anyone want to fact check that? Anyone? Culture?
What in my
Snyderverse movies? Apparently, Snyderverse movies made money for Warner Brothers.
Oh,
this is what I mean.
Bologna sausage.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I mean. These people are insane. They just lie through their teeth. They're like, no, they made money. Yeah, they didn't, though, did they? That's why you cancelled it, you dickhead. Like the proofs of the pudding. Who are you trying to fool? Bizarre. So bizarre.
I mean, the Batman versus Superman, that was a Snyder. That was his first one, wasn't it?
No, Man of Steel was.
That's right. Man of Steel.
Batman v Superman made $872 million global box office,
and it had what, a $200 million budget.
It was a $263 million budget.
Mm.
It may have made money.
Yeah, but we definitely know what didn't. Justice League.
Yeah.
Both iterations didn't make money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it wildly underperformed the domestic box office, right? I mean, because it only made here in the States $330 million. And I mean, this is, believe it or not, we are the primary market for most superhero films, and the fact that this thing fell so far down, you know, it's just crazy. I mean, you had in this time period, right? You had Ayers, Suicide Squad, you had Wonder Woman, you had Man of Steel, you had I mean, in this particular era of things, right? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, how is this good? As things went on, everything kind of went downhill for DC. I mean, Wonder Woman was the biggest earner of that solo era, and gosh, what's the other one? Aquaman, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sidetrack too much onto them, but it just goes to show that these producers lie through their teeth, I guess, was more my point.
Yeah. I mean, they reported on the Justice League that it was what, a $300 million budget, but I don't even know how much weight that holds, because with everything with Snyder and then reshooting, replanning, all that sort of stuff. Like, if I had to guess, it's probably well over $300 million that they spent on that.
The only film that was really banger for DC was Wonder Woman. $150 million budget, you know, and it brought in, you know, a mega truckload of money. I mean, I'm like, what is it? $817 million global box office for Wonder Woman. So, in fact, I don't think they had $1 billion performer. Oh wait, they did. It was
Aquaman did $1 billion.
Yeah, it was Aquaman.
Yeah, but anyway, like I said, Disney. $1 billion. I mean, they're literally $1 billion down the drain as well. Like that.
How much you want to bet Aquaman 2 is not $1 billion film?
No. Oh no, absolutely not.
Calling it now.
I don't think it'll make 450 million. I think that I'm calling it now. The global box office will be about 450 for that. Anyway.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so again, back to this sort of article as a headline part. Anyway, the 4 flops of 2023 that cost Disney $1 billion. Yeah, but not as they're framing it. Actually has now cost them $1 billion. So not only is it their costing, but they've now lost that money as well. So yeah, no profit. They're trying to frame this as profit. No profit at all. No profit. Terrible stuff. Terrible.
This article reminds me, I saw a video the other day. Culture brought up John Campea earlier, but somebody had made a clip of him going back saying, who's going to be the $1 billion club by the end of this year? He was like, Little Mermaid, definitely hitting $1 billion.
He's an idiot.
Indiana Jones, they figured out the formula. Crystal Skull didn't work. It's going to be in the $1 billion club, and was going through all these movies and in several of these Disney movies. And like none of them hit $1 billion. None of them. Terrible. We now have 2 this entire year.
Yeah. Well,
and we got 5 months left in the year.
They shouldn't be aiming at $1 billion all the time. It's an unachievable goal you can't maintain that. They need to lower their expectations. So anyway, let's shuffle on to some super chats briefly. So Davin Perry dropped in with $20. Says Disney is a serpent swallowing its own tail with Disney Plus. The Ouroboros. You are a learned fellow, Davin Perry. The Ouroboros. Brilliant symbol. Many meanings, but yeah, you are right. They are the servants swallowing their own tail with Disney Plus. I mean, they're feeding into a system which costs them more money, which makes them feed into the system which costs them more money. It's nonsense. Disney Plus has never turned a profit. It won't ever turn a profit. Stupid. You're spending $211 million on this shit. It's insane. Absolutely insane.
Well, it's going to be more than that. We were talking about Acolyte. Was it a week ago? And that's going to be about $250 million. Are you insane?
Yeah, well, they are. Yeah, naturally. They are insane, yeah. The Seaman for $5 says, with this kind of crazy Disney show cost, there has got to be embezzlement going on. No. Yeah, you'd think to a certain degree. I don't know.
Hollywood has always had
otherwise, though.
Yeah, Hollywood's always had their own way of
creative accounting.
That's the right word.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yes, some money is going to like a cocaine budget, and some money is going to like a hooker budget, and some money is going to, I don't know,
covering up dead hookers budget.
That one's substantial, more than you would think, actually.
So. Griffin Eagle sent in £1, but then he has said in the chat something about YouTube deleted it or something like that. So I don't really know what's going on. I don't know. It was not. You can refund yourself £1, though, dude. So if they've deleted your comment, just refund yourself £1.
Or just type it in private. Type it in the chat. We can highlight it there.
Yeah, actually, we can talk about it.
Yeah, there is that way of doing it as well. So yeah, sorry about that. That's nothing to do with us. That's YouTube in general. But let's shuffle on to our next topic, which I think is quite fun. I think this is a funny topic. Sir Ridley Scott regrets not directing Blade Runner sequel. I shouldn't have had to make that decision. I'll tell you what. I don't regret you not directing Blade Runner sequel.
I regret it happening, period.
Nah, mate. 2049 is brilliant. I love 2049. I'm a big fan of Blade Runner.
It was boring.
I don't care. 2049, love it. But look at this nonsense. Ridley Scott is looking back and opening up about not being able to direct the Blade Runner sequel. The filmmaker had been announced by Alcon Entertainment back in 2011 to helm the follow-up to his 1982 film that starred Harrison Ford. However, Scott had to step down from director duties following a scheduling clash with Denis Villeneuve stepping up to direct Blade Runner 2049. I shouldn't have had to make that decision, he told Empire recently, but I had to. I should have done Blade Runner 2. Fuck no.
No.
Goodness me. No.
I saw your prequels to Aliens, Ridley Scott. I don't want you to touch anything else. Come up with your own thing. Just do
I mean, part of me is like, I wish he would have instead of Aliens. I agree with you, Nick. Like, and then because that way, all the nerds who always fucking argue about this movie can finally shut the fuck up, because then you can say, well, Ridley Scott's the one who did the sequel, and if he says Deckard is or isn't a fucking replicant, end of discussion. I'm so sick of that argument. And it's this movie's fault.
Spicy, Tom, now.
Well, and this is one of the reasons why I hate Blade Runners, because like I've never been a huge Blade Runner fan. It's nice to look at, but it's one of the reasons I say that Ridley Scott is extremely overrated and the wrong kid died. But that's just my opinion, I guess. So I usually get raked over the coals whenever I say that. So
well, no, like you say, this is all coming because there's an Amazon Studios Blade Runner series 2099 coming out, right? And he's on board for that. He's not directing; he's one of the producers. So this is why this is all coming out, because obviously he's on there, he's on board with there. But like I've said for ages, Ridley Scott is overrated. He's overrated as a storyteller. He's an incredible cinematographer. I don't think anyone can argue that his cinematography is absolutely brilliant. He makes beautiful looking films. No matter what his best films are direct adaptations. They're direct adaptations, or when most of the work's been done for him. When he has stories, say he has credits, etc., it always falls apart. It's garbage. Always falls apart. So yeah, I don't know. I liked Denis Villeneuve's 2049. I liked it personally. I'm not here to defend it though. That's it's up to you guys if you dislike it. But as someone who liked the film, I will stand in defense of the film with him being me being very, very happy that he did not direct Blade Runner 2049. I don't think he'd do a better job than Denis Villeneuve at all.
His younger brother Tony Scott was better than he is.
Oh God, burns all round. Like Tom said, he is the wrong person.
Well, and The Martian's a good movie, but as I say, it's the best Tony Scott movie Ridley Scott's ever made.
But that direct adaptation, he literally just
the book. And it feels more like something his brother would have made.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But going back to direct adaptations, or where the work is done for him. So,
right,
Alien, for instance, he didn't do any of the good stuff that was in Alien. None of that was his choice. It was all there before him. So H.R. Giger was on board because he'd worked with Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett. The Android flip-flop thing, that wasn't a Ridley Scott idea. That was Giller and Hill, I think it was, if I remember rightly. They decided that they wanted that in there. Literally, none of the decisions were his that people view as the most iconic ones. So,
yeah, my favorite two movies by Ridley Scott is probably Alien and Gladiator.
I do like Gladiator. I will say that much. But I wonder how much work was done outside of.
You guys can't wait for Gladiator 2, then, evidently.
Oh God, I don't know why they're doing that. What the?
Why?
Not needed.
Because Ridley Scott.
Tom, see, now you triggered me again. That was the most unneeded film sequel ever made. Russell Crowe's dead. He died in the Gladiator died in the movie. How do you make 2? I mean, I don't want to watch.
He had a baby.
Yeah,
this is going to be like Kickboxer 2. It's going to be like his brother. And he's gonna come and it's gonna be like straight to DVD type movie.
The other version I heard is like it's Maximus in hell, but you cannot get like not sorry. Like fucking Russell Crowe looks like he ate the actor formerly known as Russell Crowe. Like you cannot bring him in again, and no,
you can't use him at all in the second film.
Yeah, I mean, not good. I mean, like Blade Runner as a TV series. What do we think of that? Anyone excited for Blade Runner TV series? Amazon's done some good stuff here and there. They really have.
It's going to be almost impossible to make that look right for an entire series unless Amazon's going to.
Disagree. So you think about Blade Runner, the gritty streets that they have, well, easy to make. That's so literally just rent a warehouse.
I mean, they can just go to San Francisco. They just go to San Francisco and shoot.
They've been standing in shit all the time. So
but it's that. There you go.
But the cyberpunk set locations, that wouldn't be that difficult to do. It's the broader sets that would be a little bit more. I honestly don't think that's not that difficult to do. I mean, think about Netflix doing it for Altered Carbon, their first season of Altered Carbon. They did great things with that.
Yeah, but they didn't have expansive sets, and most everything else was like, you know, mats and digital graphics and stuff, you know.
Yeah, but how many locations were used in Blade Runner, the first one? Not a lot.
Okay, but this is supposed to expand that world. I mean,
it's only supposed to be 10 hours.
Okay, so they're going to put it in. Okay, so it's going to be 3 rooms of people sitting around tables talking about their feelings.
And maybe we'll hear we'll hear narration as well. We'll hear people's thoughts, like in the fucking dog shit US theatrical cut of fucking Harrison Ford's thoughts. Don't narrate the film, Harrison Ford. What are you doing? Fuck off. People that follow me on Twitter @MissHReviews, everyone. I sat down at the weekend and I was like, whenever I watch stuff now, I take a picture of my TV and I'm like, I'm just watching this. And I did Blade Runner because it was on Amazon Prime. So I was like, I'll sit down and watch this. That'll be cool. You know, I'll just watch this. Why not? And then like 5 minutes in, I'm like, it's the fucking theatrical cut. I fucking switch it off. I'm like, no, I'm watching Alien instead.
Well, I think for the show, what it needs to be about is the main character that Ryan Gosling plays finds out he is a replicant made of plastic named Ken.
I like,
yeah. Oh wait, yeah. Okay, now I'm on board.
Yeah.
So Barbie is technically a sequel to Blade Runner 2049, then.
Yes.
Where they go into a simulation.
Yes.
Yep.
I love it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, anyway, there you go. Ridley Scott, everyone. Give the man a round of applause or a bottle of whiskey. One of the two. Let's move on to some DC news, which I think everyone's going to find.
That was a really late.
We'll move on to some DC news that I think everyone's going to be. This is just bizarre. Gal Gadot's staying on and is developing Wonder Woman 3.
I guess.
She's been told she's fine. She's in safe hands. She's not got to worry about it. And she's making Wonder Woman 3. What the hell is going on at DC?
Is this the same time they had the discussion with Patty Jenkins and the same time they had the discussion with Ben Affleck where Gunn said they were more than willing to work with him again, and Affleck's like, fuck that.
No, Gal Gadot wants to work with him. Patty Jenkins is gone. She confirms that Patty Jenkins is gone, and they're just making Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah, I saw the interview. I don't totally buy it.
Yeah, same. Henry Cavill was told he was going to be sticking around too, you know, and then later, I just don't see any point. Why would you you're doing a whole new thing. You're doing a whole new thing.
There's nothing on the schedule that's Wonder Woman related outside of the Themyscira show, which is a prequel or a show set before Wonder Woman's time. They didn't even call it a prequel, mind you. They just said it was set before Wonder Woman's time. So to me, look, unless I've heard there's some shifting and changing going on. I don't know if there was some threats with the contracts behind doors or what happened.
Oh, yeah.
All I know is that I don't totally buy into this going to happen or what exactly. Maybe it's an Elseworld deal they're working on, because to me, from what I heard, originally Gunn was pretty much planning a from ground up reboot, right? And they were never going to return to this other crap again. For him to keep characters around makes absolutely no sense, especially considering the reaction to Cavill.
Yeah.
I agree.
And the reaction we got with Ezra when they were, and all they said about Ezra is, we'll see what happens, which in Hollywood speak means not fucking likely. Like, you know, so to me, it may happen. It may be an Elseworld thing. I don't even see why they're even attempting it after the disaster that was Wonder Woman 84. This woman is getting old now. Like, look, let's be real.
She's
I get
3
it.
years younger than Cavill.
Yeah, she's a good-looking woman and all, but she's in her 40s. Okay, they're gonna want a younger Wonder Woman to go along with their younger Batman and younger Superman. I don't see them keeping her around very long, unless she's in a producerial role or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Again, she's in her 40s, so I just don't see that, or going to be in her 40s here, so I just don't see her sticking around much longer.
And 6 is giving us valuable information. That original interview was way back in June 28th.
That's not that early. That's still post James Gunn, isn't it? Announcement.
Yeah, but it's the same time. I mean, he did not mention Wonder Woman once in his, you know, this is what we're thinking.
I agree. But if she's saying that after that announcement, I remember he said, "This is only the first wave of announcements. I've got more to announce." I don't know.
And
I'm just taking it on face value and discussing it under that pre.
Okay,
Well, I'm looking at it. We're still a year and a half, 2 years out from Superman.
At least.
Okay. Well, longer than that now.
Yeah.
So, like, when are they going to work this Wonder Woman movie in here in the next X amount of years? Because I know she's not 40 yet, but that's what I'm saying. By the time they get around to it, she will be.
Yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah.
Like, and the farther and farther they get away from the last movie, the less likely it's going to do well, because people are just kind of, especially considering that. I don't know if you guys have discussed this, because I did listen as much as the show as I could keep when I was on my way, but the Blue Beetle is not looking to open very big.
No, it's not. No, I mean, we haven't discussed it yet. We will get to it, but yeah, I mean, you are right. Like, I think DC's an unsustainable.
And I think she's been rumored to be in, at least if they keep her in the movie. There was a rumor that she was in that too.
But I honestly just cracking my spine. I do think that DC. I think superheroes in general, I think they're unsustainable brands. The amount of money it costs to make these products and the amount of return they've been getting and the giant decline they've been getting is pretty unprecedented. The only other comparison to it in the industry would be Star Wars at this time. And they shit-canned Star Wars for years as a result of it. If you look at, honestly, you look at the Flash, look at Shazam. These movies are losing hundreds of millions of dollars. When that happened to Star Wars after God fucking hell, what was it? Solo. Yeah. Right? You know, I mean, it didn't bomb as bad as The Flash. They shit canned that franchise for how long? Right? They were done. Yeah, sure, they poured money into The Mandalorian and stuff like that, but theatrical releases, they were done. They were done and done and done and done. I think that I honestly think that these are how do you keep going with this product? How do you keep doing it?
I'm sure they like her, but just like what you said, it just doesn't make sense why you could just keep going with this and pouring money into it. You know, you've already pretty much made a hard stance that you're moving on and doing something completely different. So if you're gonna do it 100%. Don't keep stringing along the ex-girlfriend, you know, and trying to go back to her here and there, you know.
Yeah. No, and Six brings up a great point in the chat too. How much is it going to cost? To bring, Gal back.
Gal's expensive.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the main reasons that I was told, if you guys remember, as to one of the reasons why they were considering just going with a full reboot and younger actors is because one of the reasons these movies cost so damn much is the cast.
Yeah,
right?
I can believe
Look at Justice League. Part of the reason that was so expensive is because you had Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Ezra Miller. The list goes on. Like, these guys were all making multi-million dollars, if not more, on certain contracts. Like, and it's the same thing with Marvel. That's why they are getting away from those actors, and we understand that. But that's why some people are like, you know what? We could give a shit less if you just James Bond this shit, because we don't care. Get some no-name whatever Joe Blow in there to play Iron Man, because I don't care about Miss Marvel, right? Or Ironheart. I don't give a shit if it's not Robert Downey Jr. anymore, but get somebody in there, because the big thing we noticed was with Chadwick Boseman. A lot, and I had a ton of people say this. They're like, why didn't you just recast? Especially black men were like, that was a big mistake.
They did it with Rhodey.
Big mistake. Yeah, they had no problem recasting Rhodey. They didn't even wait for the what's-his-face's body to get cold to recast Harrison Ford in his place. I always forget his name. William Hurt. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Like, it's like, you guys had no problem doing that. Why is it that one? And to me, that's one of the reasons why Black Panther 2 underperformed big time in comparison to the first one, is because you just didn't recast the role.
And look,
and they've already said that there's a multiverse out there, so it could be the same characters just in a different universe. It doesn't have to be in the same MCU. But yeah, like Tom said, we don't want the Marvels and all this other Ironheart and stuff. Crap garbage that you're giving us. Just give us the characters that we actually like, and tell a good story that's
we want a Hulk that isn't material. Cuck, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
let's
all I think I could add is that what they really have to do is something that people in the chat have suggested, and I think I'm on board, and Tom just kind of broached the subject, but they have to reboot it entirely. You have to start all over again from scratch, build up a new version of each one of these characters, and build it out in a way that you're not going to be tied to the agenda garbage that has basically tied your hands in making anything in the future, and is basically propelling you towards a force which nobody wants and nobody is obviously interested in. So,
yeah, well, let's see what DC does. It'll be fascinating to see.
We'll see.
See if they do that straight up reboot. We'll see.
There's
some super chats here to get to real quick. So, Gypsy Danny Mixboy, brilliant name. $4.99 says District 9 with a $30 million budget looks better and honestly acted better than modern Marvel movies, TV shows. I love District 9.
Yeah, 100%
special place
agree.
in my heart. I just like Alien, just like Blade Runner, just like Drive, certain movies, Scarface. District 9 is one of those movies, as with all those other movies, that I sit down at least once a year and I just enjoy it with a couple beers and I just go, oh God, this is so great. I remember why I love this movie. I really love District 9, and you're completely right. Tiny budget, and it does look better than modern Marvel movies and TV shows. The VFX are fucking incredible. They're so good. Absolutely insane. So, yeah, I agree. I'm sure everyone else does as well.
Well, and what's the new one that's coming out? Creator?
Yes.
Yeah, again, another one. Yeah, $80 million budget. Like, I mean, $30 million adjusted for inflation. It's got to be pretty close, isn't it?
Pretty close. Yeah, right in that ballpark.
Yeah, so there you go. Then, yeah, the Creator, District 9 adjusted for inflation, probably similar budget-wise to the Creator. Creator, for anyone that doesn't know, Gareth Edwards, isn't it? Looks like a great movie. Get it on your radar, guys. We've talked about it here on your favorite podcast. So check it out. You won't be disappointed. Mecha J for $5 says, if Scott had so much regret, he should have let Neil Blomkamp make his own Alien sequel like he wanted to do. Oh, yeah, that's true. That is actually true because, Alien Covenant came out, was sort of rushed out when Neil Blomkamp was trying to make his Aliens movie. And there was some studio politics, which was caused by Ridley Scott. Yeah, you're completely right. I've forgotten about that.
Wow. Man, I was so looking forward to that. And it completely got squashed. I saw some of the artwork and the storyboard stuff, and man,
I was like, so many videos on it. It looks great.
Oh man, I wanted that so bad, and then what we got, I was just like, ugh, no.
Yeah.
Have you read or listened to the audio book of the original script for Alien 3, Nate?
Oh yeah, Alien 3. Yeah.
Where Bishop was in it and Ripley and what was it? Was it Hicks? Who was the other Marine that survived?
It was Hicks.
Yeah. They were all in it. Like I loved that one so much better than Alien 3. I mean, I liked Alien 3 okay, but yeah, I much preferred the audiobook, the original story there.
Did you hear about what they were also going to do with the Monk world and a wooden planet and all of that kind of stuff?
No, I didn't hear any of that.
You didn't hear about this? So they so they built a whole set piece for like a weird monk wooden planet world. It was fucking, honestly, Google it, mate. It's mental. It's mental. 20th Century Fox didn't know their arsehole from their elbows. They were fucked around that time, honestly. They must have all been absolutely high on cocaine. They just did not know what they were doing. Absolutely insane. Anyway, that is one to Google and have a good watch of. Read through. Wallace Franks for £2 says Blade Runner, the work print edition is quite good. I don't know if I've ever seen that one. Work print edition.
Now I have something to go look for.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, guys. So Tom alluded to it. Tom, you stole my my thunder with this, but let's talk about it. So Blue Beetle is.
I always seem to do that to you, and I apologize.
I know. Well, yeah. It's fine. We're on the same wavelength. $30 million opening weekend, and now they're crying about trying to make a trilogy. Their trilogy plans sound like garbage as well, by the way. So $30 million opening. That's an increase from the 12 to $17 million opening it was gonna get. Not good. This doesn't make any sense. And this guy is such a dipshit. The director and Angel Manuel Soto, he is a dipshit. Honestly, the stuff he's saying is nonsense. So he talked about this trilogy he was going to make. Our first movie, the way we wanted to do it, was always with the mentality that we wanted to do 2 more, at least, and taking the traditional 3-act structure of a story. We wanted our first movie to practically be the first act of a saga. And then it went further. So here we go. Here's a little bit more information. Of course, we can't put everything in one movie. And that's why this is the first act of a bigger saga. There's so much more to be said that I'm really looking forward to saying. We wanted to tell the movie in a way that felt like, what if Latin cinema embraced a superhero film? So we spend time with Jamie and his family. We know what's at stake and how they behave. Is family exclusive to the Latin experience now or some bollocks? What is this? You're not telling me that this is, you're not telling me what you're saying. What if Latin cinema embraced a superhero film? What are you talking about? So they spend time with their family? Most people spend time with their family. What are you doing? Idiot. The Scarab is an intruder. So when it attaches to him and all hell breaks loose, Latin people didn't invent family, just as an FYI. So when all hell breaks loose, the stakes are more personal and you care more. That just sounds like any other movie we've seen. Doesn't it? Am I missing something?
No, it does.
This just sounds like literally every single movie we've seen.
This has Hispanic people in it, Mr. H.
Wow. Yeah, and then they
say
we
have to go. If we don't support it, we're bad people.
Well, we'll get to a little bit more.
Well, hopefully that people do show up for it, for at least that community, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not going to say you should chirp for it. I think if you like the look of it, go watch it. I think this looks like a very generic superhero film. I'm not going to lie.
Look, I was told kids cannot relate to these superheroes unless they look just like them. So
it almost looks like a Netflix movie or a CW.
Well, ironically, it was made to go straight to Max.
It was made. It was.
I guess it tested better than Batgirl and Aquaman, so they're like, "Well, let's give it a theatrical release." And when faced with the possibility of shit canning it for tax reasons, like Batgirl, they felt confident enough in it that they kept it. Not only that, they kept it at theatrical. The only thing that's weird is when the director asked for some extra money to do some reshoots, they're like, "No, we're good."
Apparently, someone contacted me and said that they actually did them now.
Oh, maybe. Oh, interesting.
So I don't know. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. They're trying to sell it as it's exclusive to the Latin experience, and this goes a step further because the Blue Beetle director claimed that Bane represents American interventionism in Latin America. Let's take a look, shall we?
Interesting.
In a recent interview with the Playlist, Soto, the director, shared his thoughts on Bane while promoting the upcoming Blue Beetle film and detailing that DC pitched him on Blue Beetle after he came to them with a Bane movie. So he came to them wanting this type of Bane. As far as Bane goes, the comics that are... Where is it? Sorry. As far as Bane goes, the comics that are about Bane's story, it felt like he's very misunderstood, much like Carapax in the movie. He is a product of his environment, and that history has been buried. The history of the Caribbean, the Antilles, it's a history that's brushed off in history books. So for me, it was very important to be seen. And with the character of Bane, the formation of this villain, I think, in his own right, he's also a hero in his story. So, this roided up matador. No, he's not. So whatever happens at the end that might have gotten distorted because of what was done to him, I think that what he represents is a lot of the unknown or forgotten or brushed under the rug history of interventionism in Latin America and the Caribbean. It's not. That's not at all. It's not at all. And Graham Nolan decided to chime into this.
That's a lot of horseshit.
That's a lot of horseshit. Wait. It says it again. Too much personal projection. He's correct in that Bane is a product of his environment, but the socio-political extrapolation he's making were never considered during Bane's creation.
Why would that be considered?
Nobody does. Nobody does that shit.
I mean, I can see them considering doing a Bane movie probably right after the Joker movie, but yeah, as far as the take on it, I'm not gonna.
Fucking terrible. I can see why Warner Brothers were like, no, we don't want to make that movie. No, but we can give you Blue Beetle if you like.
Yeah,
man, Blue Beetle. This thing is going to be a shit show, and I've seen multiple reports now. I did do a little research into it that perhaps Blue Beetle did get its 2 days of reshoots.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I had some emails sent to me about
the one thing for me is the actor. I cannot pronounce his real name. Who plays? Who plays Blue Beetle from Cobra Kai? I feel bad for him because I like that kid. You know, as an actor, I like him in Cobra Kai. And I feel bad that now he's got this lead role in this movie, and it's probably going to completely bomb. Which isn't going to be good. Hopefully, it doesn't hurt his career moving forward. But I would much rather watch him in this last final season of Cobra Kai than this movie. And maybe the movie's not bad. The thing is, for me, I just don't know anything about the Blue Beetle character. I never read any of the comics. I'd never even heard of the character. So my interest is pretty much non-existent for this movie. I'm not going to go spend money on something that I'm not really interested or invested in going to see. So, I mean, maybe it's a fine movie, but I think that's probably the case for a lot of people out there, which is probably why it's not going to do as well.
Yeah.
Or not do really good at all.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it looks like a Marvel Phase 1 movie. I think this would have done well, like
Phase 0.
No, honestly, like I think being fair to it, I think 15 years ago, I think this movie would have been all the rage. I think people would have looked at this and gone, "Yeah, this looks great." I think it's just it's come out too late. I think we'll see. Like, we'll wait to see. But it's massive cope from the director. That stuff is nonsense. Oh no, it's actually this. It's not. It's not. The creators come out and said it's not. We shut up. What are you talking about? No, stop projecting. Absolute garbage.
Well, just to add to the financial aspect of this, with the now public early projections that
30 million,
yeah. I mean, $30 million. I mean, understand that we've seen these DC films do that consistently now. I mean, it is Black Adam, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you're looking at the first weekend for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. That was $30 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was in 4,000 theaters and it made $30 million. That's just a domestic number. And because of its poor reception here in the States, I mean, it didn't do well. It made a grand total after its run of 57 million domestic. And international, it only scraped together 74 million. So you're looking at a worldwide box office 132 million. If Blue Beetle does 132 million, wow.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And that's a shame, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is a shame. I think if this movie came out 15 years ago, it would have made money. It would have been good. I think, genuinely.
Yeah, and Paulie's right in the chat. I mean, the budget for this started out low because it was going to be on HBO Max, right? Which is now just Max. It was originally $90 million, and they kicked in an extra 30, so you get to 120 million. But this thing can't afford that little of a performance. And I hope, like I said, I hope for Zolo's sake and for the other people who have really put their heart into this film that's not
what he said. It's Sholo. You need to say Sholo.
Sholo?
Apparently.
Is that how you pronounce it?
That's what Paulie said in the chat. He said Sholo.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So. Well, I've always said Xolo, so
we got it wrong, bro.
That's fine.
You're appropriate in Latin culture or something. I don't
know. Now we must stone you and give you 30 lashes, culture.
Well, you know what? I feel like I lost that, like a couple of eyelashes on my pillow.
Yeah. Jeez. Anyway, let's shuffle on, guys. Let's shuffle on to some of these super chats that just dropped in. So, the big nose for $2 says free Bud Lights after watching Blue Beetle.
Boy, yeah.
Goddamn.
Wow.
Tommy Reviews for $5 says, "Hail, Mr. H and crew. I finally got around to watching Escape from Tomorrow. While I respect how it was shot illegally in Disney World, it wasn't great. I
kind of came and went. Okay, what this was like this indie horror film that was shot by these guys, guerrilla style, inside Disneyland. And Disney got pissed about it, tried suing them, but I guess they couldn't stop them or they worked something out. And the movie got released. It was just kind of more of a much ado about nothing kind of thing at the end of the day, from what I remember. The movie kind of went away pretty quickly.
Oh, it was
and garbage. People keep missing, like every time people bring it up, they think of that movie with George Clooney. It's like, no, not Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Escape from Tomorrow.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Or Tomorrowland. I can't remember if Escape from Tomorrow or Tomorrowland, but yeah.
No. Tomorrowland is the Clooney film. And
okay. I think the original title was Escape from Tomorrowland, but that was the deal that they couldn't call it that. So they just called it Escape from Tomorrow or something like that. Yeah.
I never even heard of this.
Yeah. Right. This is like 10 years ago now or something like that. More than that.
Oh, wow. It was a bit ago.
Yeah. Shuffle on to our next topic. Tom, you want to stay on camera for this one, buddy. This is your topic.
Oh.
Good sir. What on earth is this?
Ooh.
Your guess is as good as mine on this. Now, I can't believe this is taken off the way it has, but a bunch of people have been reporting on it. And thanks to all those who've given me credit for it. This actually came from a listener of ours, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to dox him. But he sent me these, and then he also provided me with 2 more angles there, because I had a lot of people go, "Are these photoshopped? What's the deal here?"
I mean, she's looking awfully white in one, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, one of these things are not like the other, evidently. And
wow, that's way off.
And it's not like it. Yeah, I mean, if it would be different if like all the other colors were off. Otherwise, you'd be like, okay, maybe there was a problem with the mold coloring in one of them. But she's got lipstick. Yeah. Why would you give her lipstick?
It's the same color lipstick as well.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same color lipstick.
And the other figures look the same.
Yeah. The other figures are exactly the same. Now, the person who sent this to me initially speculated maybe this was meant for like a Chinese market or it was a one-off and something got screwed up. But I guess there's been multiple reports. So if you guys can see these, take pictures and send them to me, please. I've had people report about it, but I've never actually had anybody else send me images yet. Send me the images.
I gotta have the images too. Are these in stores now?
I guess people have been saying they've been popping up in Targets.
All right, I'm gonna go to
and this
Target.
This is the funny thing about this is that Yellow Flash was talking about this specific set the other night. We were talking about it because he thought it was funny that it doesn't come with Splinter or Rocksteady, but it comes with Bebop. And I said, you know why? And he's like, oh, I think I can figure out why. And it's because so he gets an extra few bucks out of this one, of course. Yeah. But yeah, so needless to say, I don't know what the reasoning behind it is, what happened here, if this is some variant they had done for the Chinese market that because the movie hasn't come out in China yet, that I don't think. There's a lot of places outside the US that it has not premiered yet.
Yeah.
So we don't know if maybe they're going to get a version where in their version April's a little lighter.
Oh, that'd be hilarious if they do.
I mean, here's the thing. I've gotten so much shit from the gay Splinter thing, which people are twisting what we have said. It's like, look, all we're saying is we don't buy Jeff Rowe's excuse. We can believe that they planned on making Splinter gay until the last minute and got cold feet and just didn't clean up their mess. That is more believable than the really strange, convoluted explanation that Jeff Rowe gave us about mistakes on the poster, which there was actually multiple posters, and he claimed he knew about it, but it's like, it's been out there for a month, dude. You guys didn't scrub it until we reported on it. Here's another situation where I wonder what's going to happen now that they've been called out on it, if there is going to be another version of this movie or not that comes out in another market. Because we just recently learned that, where was it? Culture. the Middle East somewhere where they didn't get
Kuwait.
Barbie until this weekend. Okay, yeah, because they had to edit some shit out. Yeah,
no, they banned a movie. It was the first unprecedented time.
Well, Barbie did get released wherever this was, but they I can't remember if it was Kuwait or somewhere else. But
you're talking about Korea. You're talking about
Korea. Okay, well, yeah, they had to edit some shit out of it though.
Yeah, there was the map.
No. This is something else completely.
Oh no,
this is after. No,
this is just no, sorry.
Yeah,
no. Talk to Me is a horror movie that because that was banned in Kuwait because
Saudi Arabia. That's what it was. Six. Thank you.
It's the first time it's ever been banned. Kuwait banned Talk to Me, a horror movie from A24, biggest opening since Hereditary, based solely on the gender identity of one of the film stars. They were just like, nah, fucking banned.
Okay, I found it here. Yes, thank you, Six. It was in Saudi Arabia. They were first going to ban it, but they worked it out with Warner Brothers. I guess they did some minor editing to the film. So and it all had pertaining to the LGBTQ related narration.
So has that come out now? I don't think it has it?
It's been pushed back to August 31st. Kuwait? I don't know. This is Saudi Arabia for Barbie I was talking about.
Oh no, they literally banned this one.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. This was something different. This was they worked it out. It's coming out on the 31st finally.
Wow.
Yeah. This is Barbie though, not the other one. So
yeah, well, this is pretty major. Like this is obviously for China.
I think so. I think something happened and they got some screwed up in the mix. And I was kind of gonna say, it could just be a fluke, but the reporting of it took off, and people have been saying they've been seeing them at Targets and Walmarts. So
can we compare? Can we compare real quickly her hat color? Because her beanie color.
Oh, everything else. Yeah, go ahead. But everything else is the same color. I looked pretty hardcore. I'm like, okay, so I was looking for anything else to be different, and no, they're exactly the same colors. The only thing that's different is their skin color.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the hair is the same color.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the shoes are identical as well.
Yeah, everything is the same. You would think if there was something
color and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm not even sure. Do they? Because I can't tell. Do you think they even put lipstick on that version of her? I can't
tell.
Yes, there's a pinky hue to it, right?
I can't see, and that was where that's where I keyed in on right away, and that's what made me feel like this was meant to be this way.
Well, I'd look at this here
because that has to be painted on. Yeah,
like it's kind of there, isn't it?
Okay, I mean, I can't really tell, so I was
somebody in the chat.
I don't have the best eyes though. So.
Somebody in the chat. Said the other one looks like the Rachel Dolezal version. Yeah. Like, yes.
The chick who identified as black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the Rachel Dolezal version right there.
I never noticed the little blue icon thingy on her jacket.
It's just a pin or a lapel or something there. Yeah.
So bad. Well, thank you for this. Lovely.
Yeah, I didn't even expect it to take off. It was just kind of a fluke. I thought maybe it was just a one-time thing. Somebody saw it, and then people have been saying they've seen it too. So please send me the pictures, so I have the proof.
Yeah, I want to see those.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So funny. So funny. Right. Well, guys, 519 people here. Hit that thumbs up button. We'd appreciate it. Please do hit subscribe to the second channel. Just link down below in the description box. Mistakes Reviews live archives going really, really well. I'd love to get to 15,000 subscribers on there this year.
Oh, that'd be great.
So let's smash that out. Share those videos, watch those videos. This stream doesn't go on the main channel anymore. After the fact, it gets put on that channel, and all the best bits of this stream gets chopped up into individual videos. So please do check it out. But that does bring us to our close. So real quick before we sort of round this out, Culture Casino, you've got 5 seconds. What's going on in your world? Let's go.
We have the 6-minute daily each weekday. I give you six minutes of news on a 12.5-minute show in the fastest time you could ever imagine. I also do at least 1 or 2 videos every weekday. Check mine out my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Tom from Midnight Surge and Midnight Surge After Dark. Your 5-second plug some shit. What's going on in your world, bro?
I'm setting up a stream for 30 minutes from now, give or take. See you there, hopefully.
Sweet.
Perfect. And
Midnight Surge After Dark.
Again, 5 seconds. What's going on in your world, bro?
Nothing going on. Go sub to these guys.
Oh, fucking hell. Please do, guys. I get everyone to do it really quick because whenever I say we're just rounding out, everyone just disappears.
Ain't nothing going on but the video.
So I've got to make people do it quick. But check out the links to everyone's channels in the description box. Hit subscribe on their channels. You've enjoyed them enough to be here on your favorite podcast. So check them out separately down below. You'll like their stuff, I'm sure. What's going on with me? I've been learning about nephrons and the kidneys. Yay. It's been fun. Yay. It's been all right. It's not been too bad. Just some studying stuff. But anyway, so we'll be back on Thursday to talk about Disney's earnings call. That'll be honestly, you'll love it. That'll be the best show you'll love it. Great
this
show.
Thursday is gonna be a very interesting show.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. So join us on Thursday for your favorite podcast. It will return. But for me and everyone else, thank you so much. Take care. Bye now.
Bye guys.
Peace out.